Warning. This show contains content intended for adult audiences. The language is crass at best and downright insulting most of the time. This is all made for the sake of comedy and poor sophomoric taste. The skits are parodies, and any similarity to real people or stories is purely coincidental. Any insults hurled at any one human is made in jest. We're just covering our bases for when one of you skins your knee on an internet insult. We love you. Again, this is all a joke, whether you laugh or not. Not just the show, but this waking existence. The great cosmic giggle. Try not to take it seriously.
15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. We have a liftoff. Liftoff on Apollo.
Now, I'm sure that most of you know the old story about the astronaut who went far out into space and was asked on his return whether he had been to heaven and seen God. And he said yes.
Greetings, ladies, gentlemen, non-binaries, and sentient artificial intelligence. Join us on this journey to find the others. Because no matter where we find ourselves in this multiverse, the act of existing is all too familiar.
Guys? Is anybody out there? Hello?
The mushroom has a tremendous problem-solving ability.
Herb is a plant. Herbs are good for everything.
As we look across this great expanse and stare at the stars, we can't help but be reminded these lights, though we're seeing them all at the same time, happen across a multi-billion-year delta. Some of those fires burned millions of years ago, some billions, but all of them happened so we could experience them in this one singular moment.
They called us scouts. They called us seekers. They called us Hoosier. But we were destined to question everything.
I don't know about you, but as for me, the question has already been answered. Should we be here? Yes.
It's the Hoosier Sophisticate Show. Question all the things that you know. Steve likes the weed. Steve likes the weed. Tell you about DMT. The DMT. Hoosier Sophisticate Show. The Hoosier Sophisticate Show. Hoosiers with the dream. Sophisticated blasphemy. It's the Hoosier Sophisticate Show. Question all the things that you know. So let's set our minds free for the singularity. It's the Hoosier Sophisticate Show. The Hoosier Sophisticate Show.
this is exactly what you're talking about. I'm trying to send Bigfoot a message to let him know why I need to meet him. My fans all call me Bigfoot Willie Jr. 'Cause Bigfoot Willie Sr. is my paw. Mama's name, it ain't the same. Her name is Shirley. And she's in prison due to a run-in with the law. You see me, my ma and pa, we was in business. The business of tracking a Bigfoot down. The feds, they say our business wasn't honest. So they cuffed my mama and dragged her butt downtown. Bigfoot, I know you're out there, can you hear me? Without her, our family ain't the same. It's me, your old pal, Bigfoot Willie Jr. I won't hurt you, but I gotta clear her name. It was shortly after that my pa went loony, 'cause he'd seen a biped ape man in the woods. There's nobody left in town that would believe him, so I promised I'd find Bigfoot if I could. So each night after last light I get to walking, casting plaster molds of the freshest Sasquatch prints. Through the Klamath Mountains I'll be stalking, also I can prove my mama's innocent. Bigfoot, I know you're out there, can you hear me? Meet me in the moonlight silver gleam. It's me, your old pal, Bigfoot Willie Jr. Please don't go inside, squash all my dreams.
That was tremendous.
He's the strongest one. He's the coolest one. He's the strongest one. He's the coolest one.
The strongest one in the schoolyard. The coolest one in the schoolyard. He's the strongest one in the schoolyard. He's the coolest one in the schoolyard.
Falling in love again in the schoolyard. Again I'm falling in love again in the schoolyard. I'm falling in love again.
He fell in love in the schoolyard. She's looking at me oh so hard. In the schoolyard we don't play games. In the schoolyard it's not about fame. In the schoolyard you fall in love. The schoolyard is all about love. When you fall in love in the schoolyard, you fall in love in the schoolyard. Dreams, and the schoolyard is not as it seems. In the schoolyard schoolyard is where we fall, but don't forget who you are.
Schoolyard is where the magic's happening, yeah. The schoolyard is where we fell in love so strong and cool. The schoolyard is where the magic's happening, yeah. The schoolyard is where the magic lives, yeah.
Oh, Bud. Come on, Bud. Good morning, sophisticated Hoosiers. Good morning. And for anybody else that happens to have found this lovely production, pretty much the last live stream you'll ever have to follow, the last YouTube channel you'll ever have to subscribe to. Why is it so god darn dark in here, Bud? We got a fucking circle.
Hey, we're working with the light.
We got
Working with the light. Working with the light.
We got the lights. We got the lights.
Why did that turn back on?
We got the lights.
Why did that turn back on?
You know, fucking Bud, I don't know the answer to that question. Stick with me, folks. I'm just trying to get my.
Hey! 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 Ha ha! Is that dark?
No, we just look like we're sitting in a cave. It's all good.
Well, you know what? Remember yesterday, Bud? How I turned it up?
Oh, you think that changed it? Or do we need to do it again?
Made it brighter in here.
Think so? Ladies and gentlemen, non-binaries, sentient artificial intelligence, flora and fauna alike, welcome to the Hoosier Sophisticate Morning Show. It's Wednesday, which means we got all kinds of fun stuff. I think we're going to be joined by with our new segment, Wednesdays with Makete. What do we call that? Potty talk to plant medicine?
Potty and plants.
Potty and plants. Potty and plants. Who got on the text line? Cacao, Dennison says. Cacao. Great Sasquatch song. Thank you. Craig got a haircut. Not yet. I need one, though. I'm way overdue, pal.
Cacao girl.
Cacao girl.
Cacao
Old
girl.
Bobby left us a message the other night. Just check.
I didn't really do much.
I didn't. It's actually pretty impressive. How the camera's just like instantly like, you can't fool me with your light, pal.
No.
How'd you sleep, pal?
You know what? I got the greatest night of my sleep I've ever had in my life.
In your life? Shut up.
In my life.
How?
I went to bed
Why?
at 10:30.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
I actually fell asleep just before 10 myself, but then I got woken up.
You got woke?
I got woke.
By who?
I was awakened. By my wife. So, hey, come to bed, you idiot. Because I fell asleep. We were doing just massive, copious amounts of laundry.
Oh, me too.
It was laundry night, which laundry night's great because when you're doing all the folding and the hanging, you can kind of really get lost in something. So I got like another 2 episodes of The Boys under my belt. I was falling out, bud. Yesterday was a long one. I woke up at 3:30 yesterday morning, and then like it, what's the matter, bud? What's the matter?
Lost my journal.
Your journal? You lose your little diary, bud?
Somebody could be getting my journal right now.
Somebody's got all of our next fucking 50 skit ideas. Somebody's got it.
I'll find it. I'll find whoever took it.
It's okay. Did you have show notes on there? Did you have show notes on there?
Yeah.
That you wanted to go over?
Yeah, I had show notes on there that I wanted to go over.
So really, it's not pressing at all, is what you're.
No, it is.
Oh.
Because I had stuff I was going to do.
On.
Hey guys, welcome to the Hoosier Sophisticate Show. It's Steve and this guy, and we're here to make your mornings better. Every morning, we're gonna make better.
I guess you.
Every morning
I guess you
we're
could
gonna
say
make
we're
better.
selfless like that. You know. We're just trying to make your day better.
We're trying to make your day better, and hopefully we do that for you. What are you guys up to this morning?
Good morning,
Let's hear from
sexy
you.
Hoosiers.
Let's hear from you.
Seth. Oh, Seth took his journal. Is that what you're saying, Mike?
Seth took my goddamn journal. The show's going to die now. Guys, welcome to the Hoosier Sophisticate Show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a good time this morning. I got a lot of sleep, and I'm ready to destroy the war on drugs.
Vernon's got it, he said.
Vernon's got what?
Your journal.
He's got my dream journal. Vernon, do not read page 42 in that thing. Okay.
I mean, well, it depends on how much.
It's all about Jackie Robinson. I like to do each page.
Each page
is
is
the number.
to
Like these notes. Page 1 is Ozzie Smith.
That's weird because my
page
42
2 is Red
about
Shane
the
Deans.
steamy night I had with Bruce Sutter.
1, Ozzie Smith. 2, Shane Deans. 3, who's number 3?
Beltran?
Ruth?
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth, 3.
Yeah.
4,
Yachty.
simple. 5, simple. 6, simple. 7,
Mick or Mickey.
Mickey, okay. 8, famous 8.
DiMaggio.
DiMaggio's 8? I think he's 12.
I think he was 8.
I like how the old guys are like, hey, listen, we're numbers 1 through 9, okay? We got 20 guys on the team.
DiMaggio was 5.
5.
Well, you're not going above fucking Albert, babe. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, Jolton Joe. Okay. All right, hang on. Who's his famous?
Jolton Joe DiMaggio, Jack and Jill.
Sam
went
Bradford.
up the hill. Number 8.
Is that what you're feeling?
Number 9, Mike Madonna.
Mike Madonna was a Niner, huh?
I feel like it. I feel like it.
I feel like that's right.
I feel like Mike Madonna was number 9. Number 10, Roberto Baggio.
Dude, was it Dino that kicked it over the bar?
It
or
was
it
Roberto.
It was Roberto.
I was in Florida.
Yeah.
The
I remember the
bar
final. I was sitting
at,
on my living room floor at Bamberger watching that.
Me and my dad were standing up with all the people at the bar in Florida. Guess what jersey I got on, little buck?
You got Roberto Baggio's
jersey on. I'm watching it with my dad, and my dad's like, oh, man, this is like probably one of the biggest moments in sports. It's your guy kicking the kick. Like, nothing could be any better right now.
Can't get any better.
Can't get any better. He's about to win the cup for Italy right now.
That's right.
What does he do?
Oh, he parked it 4 feet over the top.
He tried to hit
crossbar.
Tried to hit it as far as he could. I don't know what he was doing.
he looked like Nick the Kick Lowry.
He did. He looked like the fucking guy with the no toes for the
old
Saints.
Cardinal kicker.
He played for the Saints when he broke
Cardinals
yeah.
too. Yeah.
He had no toes. Old stump foot just blasted out there.
Just blasted clean out of there.
That's what he did. And my dad goes like this. He goes. Everyone else there is rooting for Brazil. So you have grown men now coming up to me and going, nice kick, Baggio!
Grown men feeling it. Oh my God.
And I'm like, Dad, you gonna do anything about that? That was in my mouth.
Okay. All right. Looks like Jen's hair, bud.
Yeah. One of her pubes.
Oh, in that case.
I'm gonna add it to the rest of it. Throw it away. I'm not gonna add it to her hair now.
Was opium? Oh, bud. We're definitely gonna cover some opium. The opium cartel, because it is fucking fascinating. We've talked about it a little bit on the show before. People talk about, paper barons shutting down the cannabis industry, but there's always been a jockey back and forth between the Really, there wasn't even a jockey. It's basically the opium cartel is like the embodiment of British imperialism, right? Of British occupation, and with that, I mean the entire American pharmaceutical market. Most of our most prestigious universities were funded.
What's up?
Most of America's Ivy League was funded by opium dealers. There it is for you guys. There it is for you.
We just
guys.
laid it out there
Want
for
to
you.
talk about an opium crisis or an opiate crisis? Guess what, Jack? The whole the entirety of upper academia was built on dope.
Our country,
dope, Jack.
Our country was founded on tobacco, and then we come to find out that a lot of our institutions are built off the opioid trade, opium trade. Okay, guess what?
What, bud?
People like to get fucking altered. Okay.
Yeah, no doubt.
What? There is an innate, an unspoken desire inside of us as humans. I'm going to tie this into the aliens.
I'm with you.
Too,
Go ahead,
later.
bud. Yeah.
But there's some sort
We're
of
having fun this morning.
presence. There's some sort of presence going on that people just want to feel a little fucked up. Makes me think, what is reality? When you're a kid, I look at my kids and they're playing a game and motherfucker, they're in it. They're in it. They're on the spaceship. They're fighting the bad guys. They're doing the whole thing. I remember doing that. I remember like losing my imagination and being like, oh God, what? I can't like imagine as hardcore as I used to. It's kind of like the world's reality. The reality of the world really got to me, man. It's like, shit. I can't produce these images in my mind and let myself believe that, yeah, of course, you got to grow up, you stupid idiot. Is that for real? Is that for real?
That's for real.
That's for real?
You can't see it.
I know, but I just noticed it out of
It's
the
just there for
corner of
now.
my eye.
It's just there for now until you guys fucking play Bob the Builder in the fucking...
Bob Build.
Bob
Oh, yeah,
the
because
Builder.
Craig's mad because we can build stuff. Jason and I, he's like, man,
Now, when you
I can
say
do stuff.
we...
I've built over 500 bathrooms, bud. So
Over?
why don't you take a piece of
Take a
look
lap.
around town.
Let me take a lap.
Take a lap around town. Check out the
Take a
bathrooms.
lap.
Check out the fucking bathrooms in this town, bud.
Dude, I saw a turd yesterday that reminded me of the old
No, you
lady.
didn't. No, you didn't.
Motherfucker, I'm
No,
gonna
you
pull
didn't.
it up right now.
Oh, that's a picture?
I'm gonna pull it up right now.
Oh, you
'cause I
took
was
a
like,
picture of it.
No, this ain't for me. Dude, I'd be in ICU if I did this. When Steve told a story about this lovely old woman who dropped
Old
a
couple.
football size.
She blamed
it on her husband, but she was clearly dumping like football sized turds.
College,
Size.
collegiate,
at
football.
least collegiate, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like a younger football. Maybe the size under the collegiate, whatever that is, but still, bud.
I'm gonna find this
shouldn't
thing.
be coming out of it.
I'm gonna find this thing because I saw it yesterday and I go, I think I know what Steve was talking about now, because you can only, you can only fucking imagine what a turd of that
epic proportions.
Epic proportions. What's going on here? I'm gonna find it. Pal.
I'm here for it.
I don't know.
I
if
can't
I'm here
wait.
for it. Anyway, go ahead. Opium.
Okay, so I was watching this documentary called "The War on Drugs." Let me get the actual name because it's one of those things that's like 400 words long.
Where they used musicians and is this what you're talking about?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We were watching it yesterday. It's a little drugs as weapons against us.
Drugs as weapons against us.
The CIA war on musicians and activists. It's fucking wild, man. I've tried to watch it about.
It's real dry.
3 times.
It's straight. It's an educational video you watch. It's like when they wheeled the TV cart into the.
Exactly what
when
it
they wheel the
reminded me
TV
of.
cart into your classroom, but they are hammering you with some fucking knowledge. We've talked about it on the show before. Like going back, the opium cartel goes back to the fucking 1700s.
I'm gonna let you know right now. The opium trade in Chinese history, the traffic that developed in the 18th and 19th centuries, in which Jesus, except this one was like the long way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It
it
had
was
more
turned.
and that looks like it's
That hurts someone.
That at least looks like it's soft and it's like compressing on itself.
That hurts somebody.
This was hard.
I'm not putting it on the screen.
No, please don't, dude.
I'm not putting it on
You're
the
not
screen.
hurting my feelings.
I'm not doing it, Steve. You're not going to make me put giant turds
Greg, I don't
on
need
the
you
screen.
to do.
I'm not going to do it.
The traffic that developed in the 18th and 19th centuries, in which Western countries, mostly Great Britain, exported opium grown in India and sold to China. The British used the profits from the sale of opium to purchase such Chinese luxury goods as porcelain, silk, and tea, which were in great demand in the West. Opium was first introduced to China by Turkish and Arab traders in the late 6th or 7th century. Taken orally to relieve tension and pain, the drug was used in limited quantities until the 17th century. At that point, the practice of smoking tobacco spread from North America to China. The opium smoking soon became popular throughout the country. Opium addiction increased, and opium importations grew rapidly during the first century of the Qing dynasty, which is 1644 to 1911. By 1729, it had become such a problem that the Yongzheng Emperor from 1722 prohibited the sale and smoking of opium. 1722, okay. So that failed to hamper the trade, and in 1796, Ji Qing, emperor, outlawed opium importation and cultivation. In spite of such decrees, however, the opium trade continued to flourish. Here we go. Early in the 18th century, the Portuguese found that they could import opium from India and sell it to China at a considerable profit. By 1773, which I'm also finding out, 1776 was the origin of the Illuminati.
Watched deal on that.
Yeah, pretty interesting.
Not too bad. Yeah.
The British had discovered the trade, and that year they had become the leading supplier on the Chinese market. The British East India Company established a monopoly on opium cultivation in the Indian province of Bengal, where they developed the method of growing opium poppies cheaply and abundantly. So we're talking about the Fertile Crescent happening over in Thailand and stuff like that. And then the Fertile Crescent's the Middle East one. Not the Emerald Triangle. There's two of them, two main regions where opium is grown. One is the Middle East. One is like Thailand and that little area. So there's two. One's called the Fertile fucking Crescent? That's not right. The Brown Crescent. Britain and other European countries undertook the opium trade because of their chronic trade imbalance with China. There was tremendous demand in Europe for Chinese tea, silks, and porcelain pottery, but there is correspondingly little demand in China for Europe's manufactured goods and trade items. Consequently, Europeans had to pay for Chinese products with gold or silver. The opium trade, which created a steady demand among Chinese addicts for opium imported by the West, solved the chronic trade imbalance.
Real quick.
Sure.
When did, September 11th happened in 2001, right? And so we originally made it kind of about Iraq, but we were on two fronts. We were going to go to Afghanistan, too. That was where the Taliban was holed up. Since 2001, Afghanistan has been the leading producer of opium.
We did the exact same thing the British East India Company did.
Go ahead.
The East India Company did not carry the opium itself, but because of the Chinese ban, farmed it out to country traders, private traders who were licensed by the company to take goods from India to China. The country traders sold the opium to smugglers along the Chinese coast. The gold and silver and the traders received from those sales were then turned over to the East India Company. In China, the company used the gold and silver it received to purchase goods that could be sold profitably in England. All right, so that's the first little history.
I'm going to give you a little something crazy here. Yeah, I know that September 11th happens every year, Vernon, but you see, the U.S. government doesn't just decide to kill like thousands of its citizens on September 11th of every year. So that's what I was.
Yeah, World Trade 7 doesn't fall every
just
year.
fall.
It doesn't just fall.
Buildings don't just fall.
fall. There's a fire next to it.
Afghanistan's opium poppy harvest produces more than 90% of heroin globally.
Fuck off. Fuck you.
And more than 95% of the European supply. More land is used for opium in Afghanistan than is used for coca cultivation in all of Latin America.
There's no way. Craig, there's no way, bud. We're over there, bud.
Yeah, we're over.
We're
there.
occupying that
just,
country, aren't we?
We're just protecting profits.
Have you seen that documentary where the military guys are protecting the poppy fields?
Oh yeah.
They said they tried to get them to grow other crops, but couldn't because the soil's all jacked up. So they have to allow them to grow poppy so that they continue like their way of life over there.
Yeah.
That's the craziest fucking thing. We were talking about conspiracies and shit and how, we got to kind of narrow this down and there's all this wild shit. It's all straight up documented here. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The opium trade has gone back since the beginning of the power players in this country. We're only, 250 years old?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, when's our birthday?
Just about.
Yeah, we're almost there. Almost 250. Remember the bicentennial? That was like
I don't remember because I wasn't alive.
Remember that?
But I know
that was crazy,
yeah,
dude. That was a wild time, dude.
Bicentennial. A bunch of old.
I remember seeing like stuff, like my parents' memorabilia.
Oh yeah,
I had like, check out the fucking bicentennial beer. All the power players that have made decisions to construct this country in the image it wanted to, since our populace is so fucking dumb, which really we are, like if we could educate our populace,
we're dumb.
We're just like, yeah, whatever. Tell me that story again. Like I try to instill that in my kids. Like school ain't right, bud. It's like a double-edged sword. But I was like, they taught me tons of bullshit there, man. Like let me tell you what's really going on here. You got something?
No, go ahead.
Okay, the amount of opium imported into China increased from about 200 chests. I love how it's 200 chests annually, 1729, to roughly 1,000 chests in 1767, and then to about 10,000 per year between 1820 and 1830. The weight of each chest varied somewhat depending on the point of origin, but averaged approximately 140 pounds a chest. By 1838, the amount had grown to some 40,000 chests imported to China. The balance for payments for the first time began to run against China in favor of Britain. I mean, how are they working on it? Meanwhile, a network of opium distribution had formed throughout China, often with convenience of corrupt officials. Levels of opium addiction grew so high that it began to affect the imperial troops and the official classes. The efforts of the Qing dynasty to enforce the opium restrictions resulted in two armed conflicts between China and the West, known as the Opium Wars, which, we don't ever talk about the Opium Wars.
No, we don't.
Never. And they had such a basis on the structure of the outcome of the freaking world, bud. It's like, no, World War I is the first war. Maybe you get into the, that's the first big one we got to know that involved the world. The Revolutionary War, even like Spanish-American War. We're like,
yeah.
Focus on the Revolution.
We got Civil War. We killed each other.
The whole deal.
Yeah.
But the first World War is that one. That's the first one you gotta.
Dude,
pay
you just got to think about just all the wars in general. It's just.
Oh fuck!
How much of it we actually have? A great day, Dan Hendrickson.
Have a great day, Dan.
You don't tell us what to do, pal. In the year 1857, on March 3rd, the opposition party in the British Parliament, together with the progressive wing of the ruling party, successfully blocked a government attempt to escalate military action in China in order to pressurize the Qing government to open all of the country to British traders. Prime Minister Lord Palmerston quickly called a national election and won a sufficient majority to reopen the war in China, this time in alliance with the French, labeled the Second Opium War. It ended with the occupation of Beijing by Anglo-French forces. Zhang Feng, emperor, fled the capital. The magnificent summer palace was burned to the ground in retaliation for Qing's army's stiff resistance at the Taku forts outside Tianjin, which brought considerable casualties to British invaders.
Is that how they got Hong Kong too? Is that how?
By October, so they were trading in Hong Kong, and HSBC. It's like one of the biggest banking institutions in the world.
I think it's
out of
Hong Kong. Well, they're Scotland. There's a
Okay,
Scottish bank,
okay, yeah.
but it's like Hong Kong, Shanghai
Gotcha.
Banking Corporation,
Yes.
something
Yep,
like
yep,
that.
yep.
Something
They
like that.
do a lot of advertising in English Premier League.
Well, they're pretty much entirely built on the opium trade.
No,
I don't know. I'm telling you, that's how it goes. That's how
I
it
don't
goes.
believe
the
it.
the skull and bones. Are we getting there?
Yep,
Am I jumping the gun?
We're getting there.
Go
baby.
ahead, pal.
We're getting there. So you got the wars. By the time opium imports to China had reached 50,000 to 60,000 chests a year, they continued to increase for the next 3 decades. By 1906, however, the importance of opium in the West's trade with China had declined, and the Qing government was able to begin to regulate the importation and consumption of the drug. In 1907, China signed the 10 Years Agreement with India, whereby China agreed to forbid native cultivation and consumption of opium on the understanding that the export of Indian opium would decline in proportion and cease completely in 10 years.
Get that Indian dope out of here.
God, you damn
We
Indian.
do homegrown dope, man.
Opium smoking addiction remained a problem in China during the subsequent decades. However, since the weakened Central Republican government could not wipe out the native cultivation of opium, opium smoking was finally eradicated by the Chinese communists after they came to power in 1950. That's what you needed, a little communism in there. Shut you little opium.
Consequently, 1950 is when Afghanistan started their opium trade.
Are you fucking shitting me?
100%. 100 million %. 1950.
Oh, buddy, why? It's all connected.
Yeah,
That's
none
kinda
of
the
this
weird
shit is
thing.
coincidental, bud.
That's why I think you got to really know history. Let me look at this because this is gonna bug me.
By October 1860, the Qing emperor had no choice but to accept the humiliating terms of the Tianjin treaties. Oh, by the way, going back to HSBC, it was developed right after the first opium war. The Brits wanted the bank to deal with while they were in China. So
Golden Crescent, Golden Triangle.
There you
Golden
go.
Triangle is Vietnam, Burma, Laos, Thailand. Golden Crescent, Iran, Afghanistan, and Pakistan.
yeah, I think Burma and Afghanistan go back and forth on who is the leading producer.
Burma's like, we're gonna be number 2 again this year.
And they're
I'm
like, hey
fucking
guys, you
amazing."
keep fucking saying that out loud. We're going to have some Virginia farm boys shoving rockets up our ass for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
Maybe keep it on the down low.
You
want to end up like Afghanistan? Get
You like
together.
occupation? Okay. This is about the Ivy League schools because it kind of.
Let's just dive into that, Palo.
So the opium trade is going on, and we figure obviously people are seeing that there's an industry, drug industry, but they got their customers are bought in. Okay. So they're using this, and I'm sure some of it's as medicine too. So they're figuring out this whole thing, and all these John Pierpont,
Pierpont Morgan,
and the Russell family, which I didn't know too much about the Russell family that got together with the Pierponts and the Morgans. All of these old money families that trace their roots, like the Cabot House. At Harvard,
Vanderbilt, Cornelius
Skull and
Vanderbilt,
Bones.
J.P. Morgan, Andrew Carnegie.
Yes.
Who else? Rockefeller.
All of them.
And I mean, yeah, anybody whose name is on a fucking library now, pretty much.
Yes. So there's all these buildings on all of the Ivy League campuses, and they are all odes to old opium dealers. So
Yes.
Then they are controlling.
Dude, it's straight up like if fucking Crips and Bloods right now started a fucking, they funded a college in Watts, and they're like the halls are named after like just the famous gangbangers.
Yeah,
that's the deal.
I know.
That's
I know.
the fucking deal.
I'm with that. Though.
Yeah, cool.
Opulence and opium, the legacy of Harvard's drug syndicate. From Harvard, the opium trade spread through New England. According to Bradley, Yale University's infamous Skull and Bone Society was funded by the Russells, the most successful family of opium dealers ever in America. Columbia's Lowe Memorial Library was also named after a key member of that family. Even Princeton's first large benefactor, John Green, funded his contribution through the opium trade. Opium once pervaded campus life at Harvard throughout the 1800s. Its black smoke kept the university's veins flowing with green, and its faculty and students perpetually dazed. Many of Harvard's 19th century heroes and villains were inextricably linked to the drug. In The Imperial Cruise, A Secret History of Empire and War, historian James Bradley shows that many of Boston's elite families, Cabot, Lowell, Kirkland, sustained their wealth through opium trade. Of all the families implicated in the drug trade, Bradley argues the Cabot family was the most nefarious. Nefarious things? The Cabots profited from the slave trade. They sent privateers to attack ships from imperial powers and sell their spoils. Finally, while operating in China, they caught wind of the lucrative opium export business. Elated, they brought the trade back to Boston. Within a few short decades, the Cabots had formed an empire, cementing their status as Boston's elite, the Boston Brahmins. In Treason in America, from Aaron Burr to Averil Harriman, Anton Shitkin writes that the syndicate had grown to span across several additional notable families, including the Coolidge family, descendants of Thomas Jefferson, the Forbes family, and ancestors of former Secretary of State John Kerry. Shatlin also reports that these families had become deeply embedded in the Harvard hierarchy. At the beginning of the 19th century, members of these families were treasurers for Harvard, dictators for the Harvard and the Massachusetts Bank, and even the president of Harvard College. Though Harvard students may not have been frequent users of the drug, the disreputable businessmen of its trade were ever present. From Harvard, the opium trade spread through New England, going to the Skull and Bones, Columbia.
Yeah, Russell was a co-founder of the Skull and Bones.
Is that who that was? Yeah. Even
Samuel Russell.
Samuel Russell. What else did he do? Anything like?
He's an entrepreneur, trader, founder of Russell and Company, the largest and most important American trading house in China from 1842 to 1891.
Even undergraduates were eager to deal themselves into the lucrative opium trade. Students began to run opium joints that began from Boston to New York. In 1888, Harvard freshman Frank Mills told the Boston Daily Globe that life at Harvard would not be complete until he had experienced some of the effects of opium. The interview marked the perfect zenith of opium's reign on Harvard's campus. Opium trade boiled over then. Almost immediately after Mills' interview, he overdosed on the drug. His death became public news, and public sentiment began to shift. Newly concerned about safety, undergraduates began to police one another of signs of opiate use in about 1906. But it's going all the way to Syracuse. It launched a 3-month operation that ultimately disbanded several opium dens and got 13 arrests.
What happened to the fucking good old-fashioned opium den?
No, that's what I'm saying. On July 1st, 1908, President Roosevelt elected Hamilton Wright as the first United States opium commissioner. Wright's job to target the few opium dealers and pharmacists still remaining. Unfortunately for the Cabots, Lowells, Kirklands, Harvard's appetite for opium would never recover. I'm not trying to say that this is bad. I really am not. I'm not saying drugs are bad, chemicals are bad. I'm just saying, hey, human beings, fellow humans out there, when we listen to a story about Harvard University did this and this elite person did this and we suck their dick because we think they're better than us, we do. Deep down, we know that they've done more than us. They're better than us. They went to Harvard, Yale, they got it all figured out. Those fuckers don't have shit figured out, but the behind-the-scenes trade, we all know a hustler. We all met a hustler from our fucking youth. I knew a guy who stole the stamp for the Blues game. He would get us to all the Blues games. He bought hockey sticks and pucks, had them signed by players. By fucking 18, he was driving a brand new Monte Carlo, dude. One of those stupid ones with like the racing shit on it. Not a Dale. not a
Yeah.
fucking Dale one, which I would have been like, you can get yourself
didn't
a
get
Dale.
he didn't
can
have
get
an
3.
Intimidator?
No,
He
he
didn't
had
have an
like
Intimidator?
fake NASCAR shit on it. I'm like, well, that's what an 18-year-old's going to buy.
That's what an 18-year-old does, bud.
So he was a hustler, though. He was ambitious. But he didn't have a qualm about, hey, if this fucking person loses their job for fucking losing the stamp thing, they shouldn't have fucking lost the stamp thing, bud.
Sure.
And guys like that, if you set that guy up in a position already for fucking massive amounts of success, what we want to deem as success, nice cars and fucking, like they were talking to the girl from the Black Eyed Peas. Morning radio is dog shit. I listened to it on the way in here. The girl from the Black Eyed Peas. Remember they used to have that old girl, the other chick before Fergie? I totally forgot about that, but I liked her a lot. She's like, yeah, I got a Lexus in my driveway. Yeah, it's a couple years old. Yeah, but it's paid for. I got a Lexus. And what I really want to do is help people. And I think the band really lost that. They went away. We weren't black music anymore. And I tried to make it black music and about the people. And I'm like, you were just yelling about your Lexus 3 seconds ago. Like, don't fucking piss on me and tell me it's rain. Piss on me and let me jerk off to it.
No
okay?
doubt,
You know what I
bud.
mean?
Yeah,
like, don't
fuck
beat
yeah.
around the bush.
Waterworks,
beat around
baby.
my tush. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
hear that, bud.
let's go.
Let's go.
So I'm not saying that any of this is bad. I'm saying let's take another look at who we are, what we're doing, what decisions we're making, why we are the way we are. So many of us just go like this. We put on our blinders and we say, yeah, I'm going to go to fucking Catholic school. I'm going to go to CBC. I'm going to go to Mizzou. I'm going to get a job on Wall Street. Oh, shit. I accidentally smoked a bunch of weed and did acid. Now I realize that I am connected to the universe and I would rather give someone the shirt off my back than go with all these lies. I said all these lies that were told to me. The history we got from our fucking history books, the bullshit that they filled my head with. I love the religion aspect of it, but I didn't need 2 hours of it a day. You could have been teaching me math or something to fucking help the world, like do something. Like me getting graded on my religion, be like, Steve's really smart. He fucking learned all the gospels. It's like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, and my parents made that choice for me, but I went ahead and I said, fuck all of it, man. Which you can't do that either.
No.
What you have to do is keep educating yourself on shit like this and go, oh, that's why
There's
shit
a
works
lot
the
of
way it does today.
value in religious institutions. Like there's a ton of value there, just because of the interweaving of history itself. Going
doubt.
alongside of it. And you know what? The other day
I love more the history aspect.
No doubt.
Of
Me too.
when a historian just looks at it and goes, oh yeah, they believed
My
all
uncle
this shit,
told me
but
that my
this
uncle
is what
went to
happens.
the Vatican years ago, and he was like, did 2 tours. Did the tour with the Catholic,
Gotcha.
guide.
Yeah.
Then I did the tour with the guy that was going to tell you some shit.
That's awesome.
Because you should do it both ways.
Yeah.
It's worth doing it both ways.
For
But
sure.
like,
Well, there's a book called Zealot.
I
believe it's called Zealot, and it's a look at Jesus' life as a fucking
20-year-old
terrorist.
Oh, well,
to the Roman Empire.
Sure.
Like how the Roman Empire was like, you're telling me there's a motherfucker down there trying to start a religion with one God? Really 3. But it's the first, what do you call monotheistic society. Like, this is fucking wild. So, and at first the Roman Empire was like, we don't give a shit what happens in the...
Go ahead, do whatever you
gotta
I'm trying
do.
to bang my slaves. And
I got a whole Jupiter's cock situation going on
My
here.
wife's face is in the neighbor's gals. Yeah, this is
I'm
great.
having a good time.
This
I'm
is
not trying to
great.
worry about
I'm
it.
drinking wine and keeping... Yeah.
Pontius take care of it, okay?
Pontius.
God.
Somebody get the fucking governor. Have him deal with it.
So it's a really interesting look at, what if a historian just looked at the story and left all of the other, the stories out of it? And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. I just want to keep learning because so when we go
this puts
into
things
this,
in big perspective.
Yes,
because everything, that's what I guess I was getting at the very beginning. We talked about William Randolph Hearst. Clearly, a paper baron did have a lot to do with shutting down the hemp industry. But make no mistake, the people still in fucking charge of whether or not you can get cannabis as medicine or not are the people whose profits are protected by there not being a alternative to opiates, So, go ahead.
It also dives in, this movie, it also dives into where it led us that all these people got into power and on a separate jaunt, I was on the internet finding out that most of our medical hospitals were founded in some sort of Rockefellerian. There's a couple different families that helped support all of the very first hospitals, along with our very first Ivy League. And you can see how those branch out. Mizzou's never going to be a fucking Harvard, bud. But I guarantee the university method that has infiltrated.
They're still elites.
That there are still.
You kind of say that we're never going to be a Harvard, but we own the fucking media. Mizzou pumps out all of your fucking news anchors.
All of it.
All of your news anchors comes out of
me
Mizzou.
to my exact next point. They talk about the guys at the opium trade and the paper baron. When did they start Operation Mockingbird? Fucking early 1900s. Yep. Wasn't that the date they gave? Which I thought it started in the 60s or the 50s.
It was fucking Carnegie. It was all of their idea. It was Carnegie and Vanderbilt and Rockefeller and Cabot, maybe? No, Cabot's way before them.
Now, it does say 1967 it was exposed. Because, I thought it was a little later,
Dude,
but in that
all
documentary.
Of our titans of industry.
Yeah, they got together and said, Operation Mockingbird, history, maybe. But they said, we have to control the narrative in this fucking country, bud.
Yep.
It's the same story.
And they owned up, those five guys owned 100% of the media.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, because they bought all of the companies.
They bought all of the small, local, regional news outlets.
And
that's how it is now.
Newspaper clipping that they showed in the documentary from a long time ago said, oh, yeah, fucking, they bought, the New York Times was bought by this guy, and they had the list, like Sears and Roebuck, like all of these old companies that were like, oh,
titans
shit,
of industry.
This has been happening forever, bud.
And it's still going on now, and it's actually really funny, like, it is so hard to discern what is, like, good information, right? And there's a lot of people that, like, share shit from, like, obscure news sources. But also, we're trying to have a conversation. If we posted a blog, we came across some information, we post a blog, right? And we could have fact-checked it, we could have done all of that. But if we posted it from our page, nobody gives a fuck until it comes out of fucking Fox,
for sure.
NBC, CBS, ABC, for whatever reason.
Unless they cover our story.
That is tied to... like, McCarthy, like that is tied to like the Red Scare and like what it is to be a good red-blooded American, and back when Walter Cronkite was telling us the truth and who were the bad guys and what we were working on together. Like, it has not always been this way. That's the thing, and like, my dad used to always say something. My dad used to always say, son, behind every great fortune is a great crime. Behind every fortune is a great crime. And I like, as a kid, you're like, I think I kind of get it. But then you look at it and you're like, oh, no, yeah, that's pretty much what's going on here.
And this is bullshit, too. At the end of Wikipedia, it says modern usage. QAnon supporters who believe the CIA program to manipulate the media still exist.
Are they saying it doesn't?
Yeah, for spreading fake news, claim press reports they do not like are part of Operation Mockingbird. Fuck you, bud. Like, how many times do these conspiracy theorists have to be right before they go, oh, fuck. This is the new age of misinformation, of disinformation, where they say, what are you, a fucking QAnon guy? You one of those crazy QAnon guys?
It's not very hard to fucking to cast out somebody as crazy like that. It takes no effort to do that. You get enough people fucking saying it, and it's like, I agree. Like, there does have to be some disseminate. Like, there has to be some. It's the word I'm looking for. Like, we do have to use our best judgment on a lot of this stuff. But also, you can find a video right now. You can go to YouTube and say news anchors all saying the same thing, coast to coast.
Yeah,
coast to coast. The AP runs a newswire.
Well, that's because they're all owned by one company.
They run a newswire. They read a. But the thing is, and there would be one thing if they were all covering the same story. That would be one thing. But when they're all saying the same words verbatim,
dude,
that is manufactured truth. That is scripted fucking news.
I saw that on Conan O'Brien like one night,
dude. It fucking freaks you out.
I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it because I was all probably stoned in my fucking
late
room.
At night.
It's late at night, and they're laughing about it. They're going, "Isn't this funny?" I'm going, Conan, buddy. you went to Harvard. You're supposed to be one of the smartest guys ever.
Yeah.
Is this not terrifying, bud?
Maybe not to him.
Probably not.
Probably not to him.
Probably not. He's seen there.
He's like, oh yeah, that's what he's a writer. He's a comedy writer. He was one of them probably. Give him here. Read the fucking story.
Yeah, and then it goes into Alan Dulles, 1953, because that's what Dulles was. They called the CIA something else before OSS. That's where that kind of began, where they said,
dude, that shit is sickening. When you talk, and you know, I can't.
The CIA is a better version of it.
Think about how easy it is to get kids to believe shit. Okay?
Buddy, I believe Jonah was in the whale. Like, I believed all
actually,
that shit.
Jonah and the whale is like the one story that fucking finally did it. Like, well, they telling us as kids, and as kids, you're like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, he lived in the belly.
I didn't believe it, but then I saw a little mockumentary on it when I was a kid that it was probably a big, what was it? I thought it was a shark or something, but then they said it probably was a big, because it happened to someone before. And they had like a news article about it, and I was like, oh, fuck, it is real, dude. Like, they got me with some actual real science on the outside. I was like, oh, shit, dude, you can get eaten and spit back out.
Dude, yeah, duh. Right, he'll blow you right out the blowhole.
That's what I thought, dude. That was the one you were like, nah. That's a metaphor. That's an analogy. That's not, he ain't, come on.
Kids are so fucking easy to fool.
They're dumb.
They're dumb. They're stupid idiots.
No, they're actually really smart.
Yeah, they're sponges.
A lot of kids watch
They're sponges,
the show.
so we just give them whatever we want them to know.
That's very true.
Okay, so we're the good guys. You and I were talking about this the other day. The fucking, the Fords, the Titans of Industry, fucking Carnegie, all these guys, they were saying the same shit that Hitler was saying about Jews, dude. They were anybody who was fucking anybody that had money that was swaying the hearts and minds of people were saying the exact same thing. That's what people talk like.
And if you hear clips of them, the words they're using to describe people,
dude, people are they're still property. They're still property. They don't talk about people like anybody that doesn't have fucking $100 billion. Yeah. They don't talk about them like they're the same, right?
No.
And if Japan doesn't come over here and bomb Pearl Harbor, we're just like silently in the back. They're like,
Hitler's pretty shitty.
They're like, hey, let this guy do that.
They're like, listen, you guys can't come to a country and get rid of all of the indigenous people around to start your own company and
they're like, oh, is that right? Bang!
Yeah, is that right? That's what you guys did.
Anybody else think I can't do it?
That's what America did. Is that weird? Yeah. Is that weird that you guys got rid of the people? There was a writing, and I don't know if this, maybe I read this somewhere that wasn't fact checked, but Hitler had somewhere, maybe not in Mein Kampf, but I think he wrote a book before that maybe, that was comparing Germany to America. And it was like, dude, what you got to do is get rid of the people you don't like that are bringing you down, and then find enough land for your trees, for your energy, for all of your shit, so that way your neighbors can't fuck with you anymore. If we could expand all the way to the ocean on this side and all the way to the ocean on this side.
Switzerland's like sneaking back into the bushes.
What did you do? The Homer meme in Switzerland? Yes, we're up here, yes.
There was a video of a fucking stream running through Switzerland that is heaven. And everyone's like, yeah, I can't imagine why they're fucking neutral and everyone.
They're like, guys, just don't blow this shit up, guys.
Stay out. It'd be fucking great. Like everyone's like the fucking two guys are fighting or whatever, and then there's like one guy kind of trying to fucking calm the situation. You at fucking Swagstock with the methed out couple. You're like, hey man, get the fuck out of here. Same fucking thing, right? So Switzerland's like, hey guys, I'll tell you what. I'll hold the money while you guys while you guys figure this shit out.
I love that guy at the playground who hold everybody's money.
I just imagine like this cartoonish thing where like after these fucking two guys are fucking slugging it out, they're like, you know what? Why the fuck did we give him the money? Fuck this.
Give it back.
And they both turn on Switzerland. Switzerland's like,
so they get,
and then Switzerland's like, and nukes just fucking come pointing down. It's like, you don't want to fucking dance.
Everyone in Switzerland has a gun.
Dance with the big man all night. Everybody in Switzerland has a gun.
Yeah, that's the deal they give everyone. Here's the deal, too. I could see, like, the Army's getting there, and they're like, man, we're trudging through shit. We're going to fight these guys. And then they get to there, like, the hills are alive. And then it's, like, beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, what are we fighting each other for, guys? I found some mushrooms over here growing out of this cow turd. Let's eat them and get weird.
Okay,
So that leads us kind of into
real quick
Operation Paperclip, too.
Yes, so that's where I was heading to. So I was taught that the war ended. Yanks come home. Right? Guy's dipping his fucking little nurse gal. He's putting his tongue down her throat. Old sailors back in
and
town.
then just banging
it out. Now it's our
kids.
job. Now it's our job to fucking fill these factories with little workers that can't read. So let's fuck, baby. All right. So
I quit the show. That was the best comment that we've ever had. On the show.
So we're just told, hey, war's over. It's like they all just died. Nazis just fucking, they just disappeared like the Mayans.
Kill them all.
They're fucking gone. They stepped into their fucking little occult portal. That's what I thought. No, they said the war was over. They're done. Then we learned that we had the Nuremberg trials. And you're like, how many Jews were killed? Well, 6 million plus? 6 million plus, huh? Who's responsible for this? 9 guys. Like, 9! And that's all. They're just yelling. They're like, 9! 9! You are not pinning this on me. I'm a fucking janitor, bud. I was mopping the floor. What are you doing?
Where'd the guy in charge go?
Where's the fucking
He's wearing a mustache. He looks Latin. They tanned him. He's right there.
He's in Argentina. Listen, so then I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
He's playing soccer.
Nuremberg trials. That's how we got our fuck. And then you get into Project Paperclip, which I think we should get into in the second
After the
hour.
break.
After the break. You want to hear about Project Paperclip? You better strap it on and strap it in and get in there real deep like, we're talking about Nazis in America, man. We're talking about Nazis in America. Stick around.
Du hast mich. Du hast mich. Du hast mich.
Cower. Oh, wait.
No.
No.
Oh, hey. It's Adam McChesney with Ms. Marketing. We specialize in lead generation, filling your pipeline, and taking care of your payments. Give us a call today.
Adam from Ms. Marketing took me from 10 leads to 300 leads in a month, and I became the strongest boy in the schoolyard.
He increased the revenue for my charter fishing business by 30% in 1 month. Ms. Marketing.
What was that Facebook algorithm? What was that Instagram? Ms. Marketing.
I know it's late, baby, but you got me thinking about my dream home.
Yeah, girl. You know, Bungeon Property Group doesn't just sell houses, they sell dreams. You know when the best time to talk about dreams is? In the middle of the night. That's why Bungeon Property Group is famously open 24 hours a day, so you can whisper sweet nothings in the middle of the night. Oh yeah. Tell me all your dreams of white picket fences, in-ground pools, and I'll find them for you. In an area with a low crime rate, general proximity to nice parks, walking distance to the grocery store, easy access to the highways. A place where you can offer a quality education to your children, all while feeling safe in your front yard while they play. Let me talk that dream house talk to you. Let me be your dream realtor. Adam Bondred.
Hey, DJ Shabba.
Hey, ladies. I'm gonna smoke a little weed, boy.
I wanna grow some trees, boy.
when I grow all the weed that I smoke.
And I blow all the trees that he grows.
And I smoke all the weed that I grow.
And I grow all the trees that he smokes.
Well, I'm growing and I'm smoking.
So I go see Bo.
And I smoke what I grow, yeah.
Proactive solution.
And I'm growing the hydro.
Bo knows hydro.
And I'm growing the hydro.
Proactive solutions.
Bo no hydro. Bo no hydro. Bo no hydro. Bo know how to grow. Bo know how to grow.
Proactive solution.
Bo know how to grow.
Proactive solution.
I'm an outlaw, check it and see. Wanted poster looking like me. Checking the swamp man for a pretty girl. Being an outlaw in an outlaw world.
Hey, I'm an outlaw, check it and see. Wanted poster looking like me. Walking my hound dog, surfing that swamp. Catching crow that do the sweetly stomp. Everybody do the sweetly stomp.
It's a stomp. It's a wiggle. Turn around. A little tickle. It's a stomp. Move your feet. Head on down to Sweet Leaf. Head on down to Sweet Leaf. Head on down to Sweet Leaf. Dude, man, get on down to Sweet Leaf Emporium and do that Sweet Leaf stomp, man.
Hey guys, it's me, Kippy the Crazy Koala Bear, and I'm here to tell you about James Carlton Insurance.
Kids, quiet down.
It's the best.
Kids, quiet down and listen to Kippy.
Grown-ups need insurance, and Uncle James can help.
Right on.
Grown-ups need insurance. He's got the best reviews on Yelp. Grown-ups need insurance if they want to protect their house.
Yes, sir.
Grown-ups need insurance if they want to properly bury a spouse.
That's a bit morbid.
Grown-ups need insurance if they drive a truck.
Okay.
Grown-ups need insurance just so they don't get...
Whoa, Kippy, you can't...
Well, I was just going to say
cannot.
get in trouble.
Okay, well, it
you
sounded
don't
like
want
you were
to
going
get
to
in trouble.
sounded like you were going to say something else. James Carlton, State Farm Insurance. You can find him online at carltoninsurance.net, or you can call him at 314-961-4800.
Native hemp inside of me. 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 I got 1,800 milligrams going real good down my throat. When I wake up in the morning and I need a pick-me-up, well, I grab my bottle of native hemp and I splash it on my tongue. Lap, lap, lap. Native hemp inside of me. Native hemp inside of me. Native hemp inside of me. Native hemp inside of me.
Native hemp extract available at HoosierSophisticate.com. Enter code HOSO, H-O-S-O, at checkout for an additional 30% off.
Welcome back, ladies germs. What's crack-a-lackin'? What's crack-a-lackin' with you? We are talking about the opium cartel. We are talking about how the government they're not above playing little games with you guys. That's what government is. It's trying to figure out how to get a bunch of people to march in harmony with one another to ultimately march towards some utopian society. And people have different ideas of what that looks like. Some folks, think that looks like constant surveillance of its citizenry. Other people. Basically, anybody that's trying to do this, the only thing they don't believe in is your personal sovereignty and freedom. So we're going to get into Project Paperclip a little bit in this hour. Hey, Doc, any word on when the 1,800 milligram CBD will be back in stock? That's a great question there, Jameson Dubs. I believe we were getting pretty close on that. So I'll tell you what, right now, though, Native Hemp Extract has Delta 8 gummies that are my favorite hemp-derived product in the world. They are. I have been sufficiently medicated on 4 25 milligram gum. I mean, I ate 100 milligrams of these things, and I was feeling my oats, bud.
Really?
Feeling my oats.
Feeling your oats.
Feeling my oats. Yeah, that's exactly what it means. Hey, man, I got a crazy little stat for you, pal.
Hit me with it.
Helen Viola Jackson, the last known surviving widow of a Civil War veteran, has died at the age of 101.
What happened?
The last widow of a Civil War vet died yesterday.
What?
Yes.
Somebody had to be born in like fucking 1840.
So
We in the Civil War.
the deal was, she died last month at Webco Manor Nursing Home in Marshfield, Missouri, just north of Springy, Marshfield, Missouri. Jackson died last month at Webco Manor Nursing Home, Marshfield, Missouri, according to the Missouri Cherry Blossom Festival. A play about Jackson's life was performed at the 2019 Missouri Cherry Blossom Festival.
That doesn't make any sense, bud.
Listen, Jackson was 17 when she married James Boland, who was 93 years old at the time of their marriage.
Was he rich?
Boland and Jackson were married for 3 years before his passing. In 1939, Boland reportedly fought on the Union side of the war. That's what I would say, too. According to her biography.
Yeah, we won.
Yeah, I was with the winners. According to her biography, Jackson kept word of her marriage with Boland a secret until 2017. Jackson was a caretaker for Boland at the time of the marriage. He did not have any money to pay me for taking care of him. Therefore, he asked for my hand in marriage so that he could leave his pension to me. So, loophole. Maybe she was just into that gray dick, dude.
Who isn't?
Fair. Okay, so we started to lead into. It's better. Second hour.
Okay.
Okay. So we started to lean in. You were talking about Dulles a little bit. OSS, CIA. Operation Paperclip is something that, like, when I found out about it, I was like, you stupid, simple idiot. You simple, stupid man. How, like, what did happen to the Nazis, Steve? What happened to them? They didn't fucking
put them in the ocean.
They didn't fucking
They dumped them in the ocean.
Exterminate. They didn't wreak havoc on the world. Exterminate millions of Jews with the 9 people at the Nuremberg trials. Maybe it was 12.
How did they like? I guess they had like paperwork on Jewish people.
Oh yeah, they had papers.
You know what I mean? Like, so they could be like, because how many people were like, dude, I swear I'm not fucking Jewish, guys, and they're like, I don't know, you got the vibe of a fucking Jewish guy. And they're like, we can't find your paperwork. He's like, well, that's fucking great, right? That's a loophole. They're like, well, we better be safe than sorry. Why don't you get in line? And it's like, bud.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a whole fucked up thing.
Well, it's definitely a fucked up thing.
The Holocaust is fucked up. I'll be the first to say it.
Well, God, that's so brave of you.
Brave of me.
It's just a
Thank
brave
you.
stance, man.
Thank you.
It's a brave stance, pal. But, you know, like we were told a story, and then you look at these trials and whatever, dude. There's fucking 20 of these people, and you got these fucking white hats, which God, they look like the biggest fucking idiots. These stupid fucking helmets on. So some of these people were sentenced to life in prison. You know, many of them executed, but this tribunal was like, it was 24 people, bud. 24 people.
That blew me away when I first heard that.
I mean, but as a kid, you're like, oh,
got him.
You think it's like,
got him.
Okay, here, like if it was 24 people, then you think it's like, you know, Himmler, Goring, fucking Hitler. He's dead. Whatever, he's dead.
Got him.
Yeah, he's dead.
Got him.
And the thing is like you just don't question it. The good guys won. Yanks come home. Started knocking up. Beautiful fucking 1950s. Everybody's got a well-manicured fucking little lawn. Everybody's got a couple of cars.
Can I stop you for a second?
Sure.
I just got a message on Facebook on one of our comments. It says, hey, do you know where to get any of those $23 pre-rolls? Oh, it's spreading, baby. And if you haven't seen the cashmere.
Yeah, I do. I think you can go into pretty much any dispensary now and buy a $23 pre-roll brought to you by Clover. Because I believe they're the only manufacturer.
Good job, Clover.
Good job, Clover.
Bending us right over.
I was doing
Bend me
laundry.
right over this table.
I did like
we did.
I was talking about how we did like a month's worth of. Let me see your dick. Prove you're not a son of Abraham. That's how they got the juice.
Yeah, was there a list?
I would have been fucked.
Yeah, there's a list.
I would have been fucked. Just deep pants him like, oh, you're cut, are you? Get in the fucking train.
Get out of here.
Get on the fucking train.
That also was in year one. Circumcisions.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Jesus, dude. And the fucking adult does it that night. Like, that shit is fucking so funny. Stingy bastards. Due to the nature of how we make our CBD oil, it is not something we can just make out of any CBD oil concentrate. Due to this, we will only have small batches of the oil available at any one time. 300 to 1,500 units per cultivar for my current flower production capacity. Okay. I'm talking about the 1,800 milligram total cannabinoid goodness.
1,800 milligrams.
Going real good down my throat. So I'm like, all right, cool, man. We got the 24 worst Nazis.
Got them.
They're the leaders.
And we killed the rest of them.
They're the leaders. We put them on trial. Everybody else, you're just doing what you're just following orders.
Do you know science?
Just following orders.
We'll
Do you? Hey, so guys, who was running? I think they were working on spaceships over there.
Yeah, jet engines.
Anyway, we can. I don't know. See if they need a job. See if they need a job.
They didn't really buy into the whole deal, right? They were just more like, oh, we got to do what they're telling us to do. Like,
what do you mean?
That's how they're trying to justify these scientists coming over. You know, like you're the scientist. I'm trying to explain.
We gotta get to the.
He didn't really buy it.
Well, first off,
buy into it. He was just kind of. They said to kill his family if he didn't make him a fucking rocket ship. And he's like, yeah. They said they'd kill my family if I didn't make them a rocket ship.
Yeah, and I don't even think I think at that point.
Good morning, Allison Christine. That was the person who said about the $23 pre-roll. We got some new friends up in the house. We are having a good time. Are we having a good time? Oh, remember yesterday when people were like, hey, man, I'm having a good time. Remember that? Yay for science. We need you to do this opium and cocaine. It's for science. Crazy and proud of it. Last ride. Thanks for sharing some history, fellas. My buddy dog is wagging his tail as I sing Grow Active Solutions. Native hemp mint will be available soon. Hey, Doc, any word on the 1,800 milligrams? That's where that answer came from. ASAP.
Checking all the. Okay, so at this point, Russia has kicked Germany's ass. Germany tries to fucking fight Russia in the snow. What are you doing, bud?
You're going to get stopped at Stalingrad.
You're going to get stopped at Stalingrad. You guys are building
Stalingrad, if you want to.
You're building spaceships, bud. Yeah. You got to know this part. You got the hard shit.
They overextended themselves.
They're trying to fight on too many fronts.
They were.
We find out.
They almost had
we
it.
find out Russia. Those motherfuckers. They live to die. So you want to fight?
You want to see
Let's
some good
fight.
propaganda? Their films that they were busting
dude.
out. I was like, I'll go fucking stand and fucking.
Yep,
like,
that's right. And
it's
for the
all
motherland,
people, they're
for
like,
the
oh,
motherland,
motherfucking-
you gonna fucking stand up for the
This
motherland,
dude's
bud?
coming, he's coming to take your fucking house. What are you gonna do about it, bud? And they're like, Jesus.
I guess I'm gonna
Christ,
fucking
I'm
kill him.
gonna kill this motherfucker.
I guess I'm gonna kill him.
Whip me into a frenzy. Just
Thank you.
frothing. Your body froth.
At this point, Russia has proven themselves incredibly intelligent, incredibly resilient, and they are the new enemy. They're the new enemy.
Those bad guys.
They're the new enemy.
All they did was beat Hitler.
Yeah, they
Those bad guys.
They are our greatest threat, and so that means we got. Oh, they're gonna put a guy in space. Fuck that. We're putting a guy in space.
Bullshit.
Go get the Nazis. They were working on spaceships. Go get the Nazis. Get them here now. I'll be damned if the Ruskies are beating me to the moon.
It's wild how war machines and
war pushes forward all of our technology.
War and porn.
Always has.
War and porn. Warm. Porn.
Porn.
Warm. Porn.
Warn.
Porn.
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 We did it. We did it. Hashtag porn.
Hashtag porn.
I also want to thank everybody because although our Facebook numbers are absolute dog shit.
Yeah, we've moved everybody off of
Everybody on YouTube, which is Mycelial Media, you can just search Hoosier Sophisticate on YouTube. But all of those numbers are growing. The people are into it. I have a feeling, Craig, that 5-10 years from now, because we're notoriously dumb, we will never give up. We're just not going to give up. You know what I mean? We'll just put our nose down and fucking sniff our way to the fucking top if we have to, okay?
Listen, let me just say something.
You guys were here from the beginning.
I do this to pass the time in between I get to get together with these people and make something real.
That's it.
I do this as a fucking placekeeper before the next time I get to get all these bad motherfuckers together and we get to do some good in the world. So let's not fucking, I ain't trying to be Jay Leno, Jack. All right? I ain't trying to be Regis Philbin.
My wife says, name one good thing in Russia.
I'll name a couple good things in Russia.
Yeah.
Got some pretty solid hockey players. But the Russian twerking videos, pretty great.
St. Basil's Cathedral?
Unbelievable.
St. Basil's?
Dude,
Basil?
I watched
What does it all mean,
What
St.
does
Basil's
it all
Cathedral?
mean, St. Basil?
I bet it smells.
I bet it smells fucking
great.
The place that Fabergé, like you want to talk about the fucking czars, bud? Like they know opulence. You think it stinks in Russia?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it smells like fucking clean marble floors and fucking mahogany wood, man. And
and bears.
And they drink vodka, so like even their booze
Vodka.
stink doesn't have a
Vodka.
It doesn't even have a smell to it,
Beautiful nature.
All crammed in that fur, sweaty, smelling like fish. Hey, come on,
Jesus Christ, man. What does he have against Russians, dude?
I stood in Red Square and been inside of St. Basil's Cathedral. Yeah, well, I was the lead in the 8th grade play.
We're all telling stories today.
Everybody's
We're
a
all telling
storyteller.
stories. I
Everybody's
fell off
storytellers
of
and comedians.
I fell.
For real, I would love to go inside St. Basil's Cathedral. So anyway, we got a new enemy.
Moscow's awesome. St. Petersburg is cool.
So what are we gonna do, Paolo? What are we gonna do? We gotta get
hire
to
them all.
space.
Oh, and this is you're killing it today by just like I got a whole thing here and I didn't even show it to you, but you're just fucking kind of right in there.
Okay, I like to get in the.
You're doing it
my way in there.
So Operation Paperclip was the code name for the OSS, U.S. military rescue of scientists from Nazi Germany during the terminus and aftermath of World War II. In 1945, the Joint Intelligence Objectives Agency was established with direct responsibility of affecting Operation Paperclip. Following the failure of the German invasion of the Soviet Union, codenamed Operation Barbarossa, And to a lesser extent, the entry of the U.S. into the war, the strategic position of Germany was at a disadvantage since German military industries were unprepared for a long war. As a result, which that's what fucking Hitler made a mistake in the Rhineland. If he would have just kept going, take over, for, I think it's in France, the Rhineland, in Germany and France. Whew, buddy. They said that was like a big... He could have just walked in, taken it, because France had lost all their sons and shit from World War I. So if he would have just walked in and that, and he like wasted some time and shit, it's pretty interesting stuff when you hear like war historians go over it and be like, well, you know, if he'd have done this, shit could have changed a little, it would have been a lot different. The original unnamed plan to interview only rocket scientists changed after Major Staver sent Colonel Joe Holmes cable to the Pentagon on May 22nd, 1945 about the urgency of evacuating the German technicians and their families as the importance for the Pacific War. Most of the scientists were rocketeers of the V-2 rocket service, initially housed with their families in Lustadt, Bavaria. Oh, Bavaria is so fucking beautiful.
Yes, it
dude.
is. Where my family's from.
Is it? Why did they leave?
I think I'm the descendant of a sex worker.
Perfect. On 19th July 1945, the U.S. JCS designated the handling of Nazi scientists and their families as Operation Overcast. But when their housing's nickname Camp Overcast became common conversational usage, Operation Overcast was renamed Operation Paperclip. Despite the effort of secrecy, by 1958, much about Operation Paperclip was mainstream knowledge mentioned in the Panegyric Time magazine article about Werner von Braun.
Werner von Braun.
He's got something weird on his tombstone, a weird epitaph, isn't it? Doesn't he?
Yeah.
Or no, is that Werner Herzog? No,
Werner
he's
Herzog's
a
still
fucking
around.
director, isn't he? Werner Herzog? Yeah, he's some sort of director. Yeah, look that up. It's kind of weird, I think.
I think it just says...
It just says a name?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought there was a rocket scientist. Okay. This gets interesting. In early August 1945, Colonel Holger Toftoy, chief of the rocket branch in the Research and Development Division.
Psalms 19:1. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament sheweth his handiwork.
Isn't that weird? I thought I had
That's what's inscribed on there, just Psalms 19:1.
In September 45, the first group of 7 rocket scientists arrived from Germany at Fort Strong in the U.S. Werner von Braun, Erich W. Neubert, Theodor A. Popel, August Schulz, Eberhard Rees, Wilhelm Jungert, and Walter Schwiedetsky. Eventually, the rocket scientists arrived at Fort Bliss, Texas for rocket testing at White Sands Proving Grounds as War Department special employees. In 1950, U.S. legal residence for some paperclip specialists was affected through... What's going on? Oh, you silly bastard. Was affected through the U.S. consulate in Ciudad Juarez, Chihuahua, Mexico, from which country the Nazi scientists legally entered the U.S. In later decades, the wartime activities of some scientists were investigated. Arthur Rudolph linked to the Mittelbau-Dora slave camp, Herbuta Stronghold implicated with Nazi human experimentation. 86 aeronautical engineers were transferred to Wright Field, which had acquired Nazi aircraft and equipment under Operation Lusty. The United States Army Signal Corps employed 24 specialists. The United States Bureau of Mines employed 7 German synthetic fuel scientists in a Fischer-Tropsch chemical plant in Louisiana, Missouri in 1946. In 1959, 94 Operation Paperclip men went to the U.S., including Friedwart Winterberg and Friedrich Wiegand. Through 1990, Operation Paperclip immigrated 1,600 Nazi personnel, with the intellectual reparations taken by the U.S. and UK, patents and industrial processes valued now at some $10 billion. Spoils of war, eh, but
Well, that's the deal. I mean, the whole idea of the spoils of war is you make your army stronger by conquering other armies, right? You advance your civilization by cherry picking all of the good things that the other civilizations had going for them, all of the good things that contribute to your
idea of what the future should look like. And so, I mean, there's surely a case, right, to be made for, some of the brightest minds in the world are working out of it.
Yeah.
They're the best engineers in the world. We should probably
talk to them.
I don't know. Maybe get something out of them.
Just chat with them.
But I'll tell you what. Then you watch, and I really had fun with it. I know you got to go back and watch though. But like then you watch like Hunters, and you're like, ooh, yeah, that's fucking. That could have fucking that is. There's a lot of truth in this. There's enough truth in this to make this really uncomfortable for me. There's enough truth in this to make this very, very uncomfortable.
And you don't get uncomfortable often.
No.
I've seen you do things that...
No, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm into. Our buddy Dennison said St. Basil's awesome. He said, but there's another one in St. Petersburg called the Church.
I'm looking at it right
of
now.
The Savior of Spilled Blood.
It's fucking wild, dude.
On the Spilled Blood, and I'm gonna put it over here.
I love the architecture,
dude. Russia has some of the most incredible architecture.
Jesus.
I mean, that is...
No, Jesus.
Yeah, it's Jesus. Yeah.
Jesus. Pretty neat, bud.
That's a cool fucking cathedral. We got a pretty badass cathedral ourselves.
That's the next version of the studio right there.
Oh, 100%. I'd like to... We should do that. We should start a lifer project, like a mosaic. That's just something you just work on for fucking
ever.
We'll just work on forever. Our kids will work on it.
No.
Their kids will work on it. A meteorite will fucking smash all of it in the blink of an eye with nobody having a fucking clue that it was happening. No, we just need a 24-hour heads up. We don't want to know a week. We don't want to know a week ahead of time.
Find this one. Find that picture. That one's cool. Keep going. Keep going. What am I doing here? Nope.
These like models?
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Hey, bud, where'd
you... There it is. No, it's not. It's the next one after that, maybe, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, you're on it. Nope. No, you're not. Nope. Keep going. Keep going. Yep. Nope, that's not it.
No,
yep. Oh, no, that one next one.
I want to look at this one.
No. Oh, yeah, bud. Yeah, bud. Yeah, bud.
That is really cool. That's really, really cool.
I want to do
Dude, I watched this.
DMT inside of that place. That's the best place to do it, probably. Yeah, probably. Not a bad spot.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, you want to get, I didn't do it this year, but.
Midnight Mass?
Midnight Mass.
At the stroke of midnight?
Midnight Mass.
When they bring out the ribbon dancers?
Dude, before the fucking show starts, you got all these young male singers. Oh, no, but they're like, it's just echoing throughout this.
Canticle of the Lord? What was it?
Oh, you want a fucking Canticle of the Sun, bud? Because we can fucking get Canticle of the Sun on.
I threw him. With the canticle.
That is. Then they have the choir up in the in the fucking rafters. Can't see them, and their voices. This choir's just the resonance inside of the cathedral when that's happening. I have always thought. Oh, this could be a whole different thing.
You gotta ruin everything with your damn dirty drug.
You can't just listen to a couple people sing about
What
Lord.
if I sprinkled this on this and was like,
well, it would disturb me. It
Remember
should.
yesterday?
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Remember that?
It's fine. I do. I remember.
I did it with the coffee.
Yeah, you did. You did. You stirred the coffee with it. That's a fact. Yeah. Yeah.
That happened.
Anywho, I'll put that back on the chat cam.
So guess what, bud? Bunch of fucking Nazis come to this country, and they start building spaceships, right?
They start building spaceships.
Right.
That's how I understand it.
We have we talked about it on Monday show. Aliens, they're pretty much just saying, yeah, they're out there, deal with it. They're out there. All right? And we're like, why? What? This should be a bigger deal, right?
I would think so.
Well, at the end of February, all are welcome. All are invited. It's going to be a little chilly. Maybe if we get enough people, I can get a cabin in the woods or something like that. But we are going to do a CE5 event. CE5 protocol. Stephen Greer.
Okay.
I watched the entire.
Okay, come on with it.
I watched the entire documentary last night. Okay. But it does get a little cheesy at the end. This is something I have to learn about myself as well. At the end, they're like, hey, download this app for $10 and learn the protocol and all this shit. And I'm like, oh, you fucking sleazy dick bastard. But then I'm like, oh, fucking dude, let him make some money. It's $10 fucking bucks to learn the fucking protocols. He put in all the time and work to learn these fucking protocols. Don't like the word protocol. I'm going to learn to love it. So what we're going to do is get a big bunch of freaks out there. One of the most amazing things, and I know this group would get fucking down on it, dude, is they're all kind of meditating. They all got to enter this space together, right? They all got to enter this space together. They're meditating, holding hands, putting themselves in the right vibrational energy where it's like trans-dimensional. You're not in this realm. You're not in the other realm because that's where these entities live, right? Who knows what's photoshopped and what's not. But I guess Stephen Greer could possibly be just his life is a fucking, as a showman. I don't know. He's the greatest one of all time if that's the deal, because as a showman, he's not very flashy or anything. He's like, here are the facts of what's happening right now. Stephen Greer, here's the, it's not very much, like, hey, I'm fucking out there. It's wild. Look at me. Because I did watch a documentary with this one. I'll show you a picture of this guy. But so what we're going to do is we're going to follow the protocols of CE5. And when they're following the protocols out in the field, they take these pictures when everyone's like holding hands in this space. And you see these beams of light. It looks like when you write on a stylus on, like, if it was black and they said, oh, you can have neon writing on your thing. It's like, oh, cool. Yeah, it's kind of it's like bright. That on, they're like, two of them would be coming out of these people's like temples, and they're like arrows, like lightning bolts of light. This one dude has hearing problems since he's been about 15, maybe even younger. It always stopped him from going to parties as a kid. He felt fucking self-conscious about not being able to fucking hear anybody or whatever. Well, he's an older dude now. He went to one of the CE5 events or whatever and was able to make like contact, like get into a deep meditative state, make contact. The next night or shortly after, he sees like a orange glowing sphere, and he goes, I had a moment of, I knew it recognized me and I recognized it. That moment of like, oh, I know that person or whatever, and they see me now, and I'm not like peering in on them. And so he says it gets closer, and his roommate like wakes up because he's talking to this thing, and he's fucking blown away. He sees it too. And so he goes, and he can't really tell what they're saying to each other because they're like using telepathy. And he goes, well, you think you can do something about my ears? And he said the next morning he wakes up.
Get on. And you can hear?
He's more deaf. No, he could hear. He could hear. And I'm like, get the
Come
fuck.
on. I have such a.
Let me check myself there, right? Is that possible? Is it possible that when we get to a certain point, that consciousness is everything? Yeah, because I know this meat suit dies at some point. There's something else going on, possibly. An energy, a frequency, a vibration. Everything is a vibration. That's not even a fucking question anymore. Everything is just, this is just hard because it's the same, it's dense. There's these density levels of the interactions of, of all of these chemicals and properties and molecules and shit, atoms. Is there a way that, and maybe aliens is not the right term for it, or is the term, but you have to expand your openness on the word alien, that at civilizations that have just gotten to a conscious level, that it's like, oh yeah, you were living in a physical realm. Well, you can also experience what you experience in a deep ceremony or a meditation practice. Like, You can experience that all the time. And once you become that, you become energy, and you don't really need that anymore. This is kind of your pupa stage or an evolution of, the caterpillar going through the stages of life. If you want to be a fucking butterfly, bud.
Be a butterfly.
Be a butterfly, okay? Be altered consciousness. Be a state of awareness and being that is with the flow. They had a quote from Maharaji that was, "The mind is but a wave in the ocean of the infinite."
Infinite.
Or
Yeah,
something to
that sounds
effect.
about right.
And I was like, yeah, it's just a fucking wave in the ocean of waves and waves and waves. And so I was like, oh, okay. I think with the placebo effect, just knowing science and that, I think if you had someone who could put a fucking fierce enough con on you to say, I'm healing your body, I am, and you bought into their shit and whatever their light was bringing to you, and then it's not shit anymore. Yeah. It's not shit. You bought in and this person bought in, therefore it's real.
It's real.
Everything was an idea.
The first requirement of magic being real is for you to believe in it.
And so is faith.
I mean, that's the deal, right?
That's where
my wife would be
I
so
freak
proud
out.
of me right now. Dr. Joe Dispenza, and actually he was just on Aubrey
Marcus.
too. Yeah. She's been on Joe Dispenza for
12
years, dude, since I've known her. And he says you are the placebo. The placebo effect is so real and so successful compared to just trials when people actually believed that they were getting the thing that was healing them. If they believed that the medicine was healing them, it worked at a far better clip of whether or not they were getting the medicine or not.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So that is the first step to all of it.
It is. It is. But you don't. I guess it's the human nature of not wanting to be tricked. I don't want to believe in something and it's not real. But what's the fucking point? Believe in something. Go out there and believe, baby. Lean into it.
Yeah.
That's why I want to do something at the end of February where we get some lasers or do whatever we got to do. I'm going to download the protocol. See if we can make contact with aliens. Not even that is the point, okay? Aliens might not even be the point, Danny Diamonds, okay?
Okay.
The connection with each other.
Yeah, I'm with it.
The consciousness of, I know this sounds a little
It brings
weird,
you closer to the
but maybe we
meld.
should hold hands and really get lost in our breath with each other. I don't know. Is that a fucking weird thing to you guys?
I think
it is probably to most people. If I go to my dad and his friends and shit,
dude, if they heard you were doing that, they would say this is insane.
I'm gonna fucking pop you.
But also, isn't the point to kind of do it a little better and a little differently? Not even better, just differently. The idea is if we are the universe fucking learning more about itself, the idea is to
give it a shot.
To do things that the universe is like, I didn't see that one coming.
Okay.
We had an experience with Chris Smith where he was standing about where you're at and we're over here, and he was assuring us that this doesn't have to be weird, and it wasn't. And then afterwards, I'm like, well, how weird was that for you? He's like, well, I'm going to be honest. Probably the weirdest one I've...
Yeah, obviously.
I'm like, yeah, you know where you're at,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Because that's the idea. I'm trying to get weird. I want to talk about talking to aliens.
Yeah.
Hiring Nazis to help us do it.
Totally, you're right. And holding hands in the woods is weird too.
Holding hands and howling at the moon. That's my shit.
That's my shit.
Howl at the moon, baby. Plunging into the ice cold water.
We're so close to
fucking
Nexium.
feeling that. We're weird.
God
weird.
Damn it. So anytime we can kind of get together and I'm going to say it a million times this year, raise the vibrational energy of the group. They also point to a study.
Plants seeing vibrations. It's cold as fuck in here.
What's the deal?
Bud?
My legs are nipply.
My
the once, and I'm gonna butcher this a little bit, but hydrogen when it's called, it's the product of superfluidity, to where when 10% of the hydrogen molecules line up, the rest of the molecules will line up. It has to do with that, the studies I was talking about yesterday, where entropy versus order, and the whether consciousness has the ability to seek out life, and the 4 quadrants with the plant, trying to cultivate all of that into what we are now and experiencing now. And I want to get out in the woods and just get weird. You know what I mean? Like,
I definitely know
that's
what you mean.
the deal, to connect back with the nature part of the self. The Makete, we're gonna bring them all.
It'll get your your circadian rhythm fucking back in time.
No doubt.
Which is a big deal. It's a big deal. Like, I don't think we even, like, they talk about people that like work overnights versus, throughout the day. Like, typically I'm not to freak anybody out, but their lifespans are shorter,
they're gonna die
usually, because they're working against the natural rhythm of their their body in cohesion with the earth. I
don't know anything about that.
Circadian rhythms.
Well, no, the night people dying before the
I'll
day
let you
people.
know. I'll let you know. They're dying, dude. I told you, not to freak anybody out, but
not to freak anyone out.
Not to freak anybody out, but you should consider, just
cool. My wife's been working the graveyard shift for the last 15 years. Good. How much time I got left? Oh, just joking. Jenny has a day
what
job,
ended up
and
happening?
she's gonna
So
stay having
what?
a
So
day
the
job.
Nazis just lived their days out here. Someone went and worked for Disney.
Yeah.
Someone worked for Disney.
Yeah, they all fucking.
Can we just? I know we kind of just brushed on that for a little bit. Can we kick back to that? Because I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down to the.
I just wanted to put that out there. End of February.
We're doing it. I'm in. I can't fucking wait.
Okay.
It's gonna be great.
Okay, settle down.
Can't wait. It's gonna be cold.
Yeah,
it's gonna
it
be
is.
awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe we'll get a little snow.
Oh God, don't you say that.
Maybe we'll get a little bit of
I'm
snow.
gonna have to bring in the heater.
Why
is this out here?
So that was from the. Oh, more rap, dude.
Hey kids, let's rap about drugs. They're awesome.
So this idea. So Truman signed off on this thing, right? They went over there. All of their greatest engineers, rocket scientists, everything like that. They had to identify them.
Truman was a bitch.
Hey man, don't talk about Missouri zone like that.
He was, dude.
You think Truman was a bitch? I'm gonna put it on the microphone, bud. You think Harry S. Truman was a bitch?
I do.
Steve thinks he was a
I
bitch.
think he got told what to do, and whenever he didn't get told what to do, he made a terrible decision.
Okay. Okay, bud.
I'll stand behind those remarks.
So, all right, let's give you a little breakdown real quick. Operation Paperclip is a secret program, Joint Intelligence Objectives Agency, largely carried out by special agents of the Army, in which more than 1,600 scientists, engineers, technicians, Werner von Braun and his V-2 rocket team were taken from Germany to the United States for U.S. government employment, primarily between 1945 and 59. Many were former members, some were former leaders of the Nazi Party. Primary purpose of Operation Paperclip was the military advantage in the Soviet War. We talked about that a little bit. The Soviet Union was more aggressive. They recruited more than 2,200 Germans into their country.
Who?
The Soviet Union.
Good for them.
So they were getting after it. Total of more than 6,000 people, including family members, with the Operation Osaviakim during one night on October 46. So we come up with Operation Overcast. It was the name first given by the German scientist family members for the housing camp where they were held. And then in 45, Operation Overcast was renamed Operation Paperclip by the Army officers who would attach a paperclip to the folders of the experts and wish to employ In a secret directive in 1946, Truman approved the Operation Paperclip and expanded it to include 1,000 German scientists under temporary limited military custody.
They can make up whatever shit they want, can't they?
Well, sure they can. Sure they can.
Books, you'd be like, hey, here's a fucking...
They can do whatever they do.
Here's a new word for it.
They do whatever they want.
Do-do, baby.
That's what's fucking... They do, baby.
It's do-do, baby.
They do it, baby.
It's just a little do-do, baby. Porn.
Let's see. In the later part of World War II, Germany found itself at a logical disadvantage trying to fuck with the Soviets, bud. And they got fucking learned one. Operation Barbarossa, they took that one right in the teeth. It depleted all their resources, and they were unprepared to defend the Germanic Reich against the Red Army's westward counterattack. So they began recalling from combat all their scientists, engineers, and technicians, and worked to bolster their defense for a protracted war with the USSR. The recall from frontline combat included 4,000 rocketeers in northern coastal Germany. Overnight, PhDs were liberated from KP duty. Masters of Science were recalled from orderly service. Mathematicians were hauled out of bakeries, and precision mechanics ceased to be truck drivers. They pulled everybody that had any kind of advanced degree the fuck out of the field, and they said, "Come home. We got to fucking make. We're gonna have to win this one with our brains, guys." Because it turns out those people will march barefoot in the snow. And we're not doing that.
No.
We're not going to do that.
And they got so many. Half of them don't have guns. They got to wait for someone to die, and then they go pick up their guns.
Yes. Yeah. Otherwise, they're just throwing rocks at you. So in order to do this, they had to identify who all these people were in the German army, who all the scientists were, who all the engineers were. So they came up with the Eisenberg list.
Okay.
So recorded the names, politically cleared men to the Eisenberg list. We get a hold of it. In March of 45 at Bonn University, a Polish laboratory technician found pieces of the list stuffed in a toilet. The list got to MI6, who transmitted it to U.S. intelligence, and the U.S. Army just started fucking drafting off of this list, off the Eisenberg list that was tossed in the toilet.
Jesus.
Let's see what else here.
I don't know about Germans, but their sausages are the worst. Ha. Wiener joke. Just kidding. They love latex and scat play. Ooh, squirt.
Thank you, Alan.
Alan's here.
In Operation Overcast, Major Staver's original intent was only to interview the scientists, but what he learned changed the operation's purpose. On May 22nd of 1945, he transmitted to the Pentagon headquarters Colonel Joel Holmes' telegram urging the evacuation of German scientists and their families as most important for the Pacific War effort. Most of the Eisenberg list engineers worked at the Baltic Coast German Army Research Center, Peenemünde.
Nice.
Developing the V-2 rocket. After capturing them, the Allies initially housed them and their families in Landshut, Bavaria. Beginning on July 19th in 1945, the U.S. JCS managed the captured ARC Rocketeers under Operation Overcast. However, when the Camp Overcast name of the scientist quarters became locally known, the program was renamed to Project Paperclip.
Oh, very inconspicuous, sir.
So we go and capture these fools. In May of 45, the U.S. Navy received in custody Herbert A. Wagner, the inventor of the HS-293 missile.
Yep.
For 2 years, he worked at the Special Devices Center at Castle Gold and at Hempstead House, Long Island, New York. He moved to the Naval Station in 1947.
You can move to my naval station.
Ooh, is it fuzzy?
It is.
Fuzzy navels. In August 1945, Colonel Holger Toftoy, head of the rocket branch of the Research and Development Division of the U.S. Army's Ordnance Corps, offered initial one-year contracts to the rocket scientists.
127 of them accepted.
Bless you.
It was a cough.
Okay.
In September, thank you. In September 1945, the first group of 7 rocket scientists, aerospace engineers, arrive at Fort Strong, located on Long Island in Boston Harbor. Werner von Braun, Erich Neubert, Theodor Poppel, August Schultz, Eberhard Rees, Wilhelm Jungert, and Walter Schwizdetsky. So, 3 rocket scientist groups arrive in Texas at Fort Bliss. They just start fucking pouring in. Talk about the one. In 46, the U.S. Bureau of Mines employed 7 German synthetic fuel scientists at a Fisher Troughs chemical plant in Louisiana, was what you were talking about. On June 1st, 1949, the Chief of Ordnance of the United States Army designated Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville, Alabama, as the Ordnance Rocket Center, its facility for rocket research and development. Dude, they not only did, they bring Germans over to help us with our rockets, they pretty much just said, here, develop our rocket program, please. It's entirely yours. That takes that's a pretty good little gamble, bud. And hey, guys, will you, is there any way you could make a weapon that could potentially destroy the entire Earth? You got the codes. I need you to design it from the ground up. I just need you to do it for the U.S. and not the country that you just fled from.
What were our rocket guys doing? Just jerking off in the locker room again. I don't know what's happening. Is that what our rocket guys were doing?
That's hot.
I come in here and you got some fuels. The fuels are everywhere. And now I'm supposed to do this. He's like, that ain't fuel. We're jerking off in here. I already told you guys that. What are our scientists doing?
What are you doing?
Scientist who's like, listen, guys, we can do this. We can make a rocket. And your boss comes in and goes, here's the thing. I'd rather have a dirty Nazi in here than you because you're just not good at your job. It's like, Craig, hey, I brought a Nazi and
you're fine.
He's got his flaws.
Yeah.
He's got flaws.
He's kind of an asshole, but man, he runs a fucking tight ship.
He's not as big as asshole as you.
He runs a tight ship.
Man, he is. Yeah. You were 15 minutes late this morning, bud.
What's going on?
He's 45 minutes
That's
early
right.
every day.
That's right.
He's a ruthless murderer, okay?
But that doesn't mean he doesn't know how to build a spaceship,
He's
bud.
going to build us a rocket, buddy, butt. Little butt.
You want to hear some of the major awards won before we go into break, and then we're going to come back with Makete. That's what I say. I go, Makete.
Is that what you do?
I do it in the shower. I go, Makete. Gets me excited. The NASA Distinguished Service Medal is the highest award which may be bestowed by the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. After more than 2 decades of service and leadership in NASA, 4 Operation Paperclip members were awarded the NASA Distinguished Service Medal in 1969.
Can't buy into any of this shit.
Kurt DeBoos, Eberhard Rees, Arthur Rudolph, and Werner von Braun.
Were they bad people, do we know, though?
Ernst Geisler was awarded. Dude, they were just guys. I don't know. Were they bad? I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like,
this is the subtle nuance of war.
I mean, I'm sure some of them were like, yeah, I
when
would
you
do
talk
some
about
experiments
war
on some fucking Jews.
When you
bud,
talk
let's
about
go.
war and you talk
And
about
the other guy's like I don't
living
do that.
in a
I don't want to do that
in an area where like we've all got the buddy. We've all got the buddy where everybody's having a good time. You know, I like to think I'm a pretty good guy. I'm out with some old pals. Been a while since we've gone. We're going out for a different kind of fun. The old kind of fun we used to have when we were in our early 20s. Except, no, there's only one person doing that. It's your one loudmouth jerk-off friend that's always looked for the fight his whole life. The rest of you are grown, and you got responsibilities and things to somewhat live for. And all of a sudden, that buddy's mouth is running. You're a couple 6, 7 beers in. You're watching a ball game. You're having a good time. People are laughing around you. You're sharing appetizers. You got that one buddy who's like, you fucking looking at me, bud? You looking at me? Because we can fucking do this right. Because I was thinking maybe I could put my fucking forehead right here into the bridge of your nose and fuck your whole day up. And you're just sitting here with your buddies and you're like, oh, pal.
It's a 6th inning,
How
bud.
has it
Inning.
escalated to this point? You're losing your fastball. It is the 6th inning. We're watching a fucking game. We're at Applebee's.
Yeah,
we're at Applebee's. You're going to fight the guy at Applebee's?
It's the neighborhood
Everybody
bar,
has that fucking friend. Everybody has that guy.
Alcohol is his best friend. He's the only person having fun.
Yeah,
when
we all have that
We all
friend.
have that friend. We all have that guy. And does that make you a bad guy if all of a sudden that guy fucking, gets in a fight, spills a kid's fucking drink all over him? I don't know why the kid was sitting in the fucking bar. I tried to tell the guy.
Putting a kid in a tall top.
Yeah, what are you doing? He put
A
in a
tall
high
top table?
Get him a fucking booster
High
seat,
top?
bud. What are you
What do they
doing?
call those?
High top. Yeah. Tall top.
Adolf Eichmann made it to.
But no, some of them were
Argentina.
leaders of the fucking, Nazi army.
yeah.
That's problematic.
I wasn't sure if like one of them was like, listen, I'm just the fucking rocket
But I mean,
guy.
that is
They're gonna blow my family away if I don't fucking build these guys rockets.
It's an interesting.
I mean, obviously that's what you're gonna say. Be like, dude, he fucking said, I'm gonna shoot you if you don't build me this rocket. And so I had to build a fucking rocket. Get me out of here.
I'm just watching the ball game. Turns out they're fucking wanting to kill Jews and invade Europe.
Your friend has lost his mind now.
He's crazy, man. Yeah, he's no longer my friend, but I'm still here for it.
But then he's got a gun to your head saying, you're gonna help me fight these guys,
or
I'll shoot you in the head.
Yeah.
So that's a better analogy.
And and he's like, and don't worry, you're not going to have to shoot anybody yourself. I just need you to do some math.
I need you to build me
I
a
just need
machine
you to
gun.
do some math. I need you to build me a weapon so that I can kill them.
everyone.
That's all I need you to do.
I found a
I
thing.
don't know. You gonna be a martyr for the cause?
I found
you
a-
gonna build a fucking rocket? I don't know. That's the subtle fucking nuances of war.
7 most notorious Nazis who escaped to South America. That's on the History Channel. That's just reading through some of these. It's pretty crazy. The world's most wanted Nazi, Adolf Eichmann. After World War II ended, he went into hiding in Austria, and with the aid of a Franciscan monk, I fucking knew it, in Genoa,
Every time.
Italy, he obtained an Argentine visa. They captured him in 1960, Mossad agents, in a daring operation.
Good.
Country by doping and disguising him. In Israel, he stood as a war criminal. He was hanged in 1962.
Oh, if you take your kid to space camp in Huntsville, they can see like if you can make it like a dual history learning credit.
Yeah.
You go learn a little bit about rockets, and then you're like, oh, hey, by the way, these engineers here were Nazis. The ones here in the Hall of Fame, in the Space Camp Hall of Fame, they were Nazis. Okay,
So
check out Hunters. That was like the longest trail, just go check out Hunters. It's Al Pacino. having a
I
good
started
time.
it.
Finish it, bud. The finish is worth it. The finish is where it fucking. It's just edging. It's just edging.
I did.
Edging's
I'm
cool, right?
edging for
Edging's
a
cool,
while.
right? It's cool. They've had all kinds of scientific accomplishments. What we're going to do is we're going to go to break, and when we come back from break,
I haven't talked to Makete.
he's messaged us, I believe. Makete. On the other side of the break, that's who we're going to talk to. Makete. It feels good, doesn't it? Makete.
God, I love it.
It's great. See you on the other side of the break.
Carlton. Insurance. 31314
And some amazing, astonishing, astounding, fabulous, incredible, fantastic, phenomenal, prodigious, stupendous, unbelievable, wondrous, divine, fantastical, no seriously, fantastical, house, you gotta call, gotta get insurance, you gotta insurance. Carlton Insurance.net.
Hey boys and girls. I'm talking about native extract. That CBD. Inside of me. That CBD. Sweet, delicious CBD. That CBD. Got to see. I can't. That's CBD. Inside of me. That's CBD. Inside of me. Inside
Native hemp extract. 1,800 milligrams of total cannabinoid goodness. Pike County, Illinois. Get yours at HoosierSophisticate.com.
I'm an outlaw, chicken on a poster, looking like me, checking the swamp man for a pretty girl. Been an outlaw in an outlaw world. I'm an outlaw, check it and see. On a poster, looking like me, walking my hound dog, surfing that swamp, catching crow that do the sweetly stomp. Everybody do the sweetly. It's a stomp. It's a wiggle, turn around, little tickle, it's a stomp, move your feet, head on down, sweetly, head on down, sweetly, head on down, sweetly, dude man, stone down, pour that sweet stomp.
You think you found the best insurance agent in the game? But I got news for you. I did. It's James Carlton. State Farm. Carlton.
Brother Mike. Welcome back. Ooh, you have to turn it on too. Ooh, welcome back. Welcome back. Makete.
Why?
Because.
Why?
P-A-R-T. Why?
Because I
gotta.
man.
Because I gotta.
Makete.
The rocket talk is hilarious, Steve.
I know.
I don't know that.
It's the funniest thing we've ever done on this show.
I don't know that.
I'm getting messages about the show. Guys, share the feed.
We are going to play a little game with Makete today.
Oh, the commercials were doubling. Good job, idiot.
Desktop was on.
I forgot to turn it off.
Sorry, guys.
We're so stupid, man. We're so stupid.
Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
Nazis. I know a local family with the last name Hitler
Oh shit.
How have they not changed it?
No.
That's a great question. Actually, you gotta have some balls on you, bud. You got a pretty good little set of balls on you. If you're just like, no, it's
Don't call
Hitler.
him.
No, you're fine.
I know.
Like, it's Hitler, but it's with two
Cucky the
T's.
dwarf?
No.
I need I need to change that. You know, that's what you're saved as in my phone.
You saved as Cucky the Dwarf in your phone. That is disrespectful, pal.
Makete in my phone. Okay, I'm gonna change it right now.
Okay, change it right now while we're live.
Change it to Stevie L. Gina. I'm gonna change it to Cucky the Steve.
Hey, Makete, can you imagine like the balls you gotta have on you to walk around with the last name Hitler, like in America?
Is there someone with that name?
Well, yeah, but it's got two T's, you know. So
Makete's
that's totally different. It's not even the same spelling.
It's not even the same spelling.
Makete's first name was Adolf Hitler.
Rush.
One word, Adolf Hitler. And he changed it to Makete because it means death to the Jews.
Oh, come on now. It does not mean that. He's
Serbian.
making this up.
Sorry, gigs up. We love everyone here.
Are we on?
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
we are,
We
bud.
are.
We're on the air.
Hello, you guys are breaking up.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah.
Not that it matters. I mean,
No, it doesn't. Thanks
Yeah,
for
nobody's paying.
minimizing everything we do.
we can still talk about taking pictures of dads in the bathtub.
Yeah, for sure.
Can we?
I don't know.
Can we?
Probably.
Please.
Dads are,
I don't know.
I mean, dads are adults.
I like when you pretend to
make
be
that
a dad.
decision.
Me? Oh, in the bathtub when you're taking photos.
You are like, you're an adventurous dad. You're like well, what's his name? Who played Aragorn? Who played Aragorn? Help me out. Viggo Mortensen.
Mortensen.
You're like Viggo Mortensen and Captain Fantastic dad. Like that's the dad that
You're like the dad from Harry and the Hendersons.
John Lithgow.
Yeah, because he hunts and it's fucking. His dad's into fucking Bigfoot and shit.
Yeah, I don't know if he's into him. He just hit him with his car.
Oh, yeah.
That's all.
He literally got into him. No, his dad fucking is all about it. Bigfoot.
I got a new idea for the show. You guys just talk and I'll just laugh.
okay,
That's not a
that
bad
sounds good.
deal. It's not a bad deal. Okay, Makete, you had a great idea. When I say great idea, it was, you know,
It wasn't even, was it? Did I?
No.
Wait, hold on.
It was
It was
a
decent.
run-of-the-mill idea.
Yeah, it was stolen probably from somewhere
hit or
somewhere
miss.
better.
It was hit or miss.
I stole it from the Nazis.
Well, so
Nazi
did
scientists.
we. So did we, and that's why we went to the moon,
Yep.
pal. So that's okay.
I'm gonna fill this up.
Yeah, let's stop talking about that.
I would love to do that. What I'm getting at is you brought up kind of a cool idea for a topic, and I think that we could talk about just about anything. But you said let's all just, and I think you even maybe made a post about it in your own little personal world that you're cultivating about how you're going to choose a word, for 2021. What this word is like. And I don't know if this word's going to be a mantra or if it's going to be a focus, a pinpoint on a vision board, whatever that is. And I think it's a pretty freaking rad idea, bud.
I think it's radical.
I think it's a radical idea. I think it's super neat.
Yeah, it's radical. It's a radical thought. And it's got to be, and for anyone that's listening, does anyone listen to your show? Or is it just kind
There's
of
a handful.
We got like 3 on Facebook right
There's a handful.
now.
Twitch is where everybody's at.
Twitch has
hanging
like
out.
1 million people on there right
Twitch
now.
has got 12,000
Like a million
and
trillion.
a couple few on YouTube.
Well,
Yeah, there's a handful on Periscope.
For all the millions of people, yeah. If you want to play this little game with yourself,
Let's hear it.
It's just one word for yourself for 2021, but it's a first instinct thing. So you got to be honest with yourself. What's the first word that comes up? No afterthought.
Okay.
I know Craig already told me his.
Yeah, it was it came when you proposed the idea. It's the first one that came to mind, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and stick with it. Steve-O, do you have one? Yeah. What are you doing over there, pal? Oh, is your computer dying? Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, and Steve's was something like dads and baths, and I told him that was too many. Yeah, dad bath.
Dad bath. What are you doing there, bud? It is not.
That sounds like a good band name for you guys.
Dad bath. Dad bath.
Okay. I changed mine, so
Okay, what did you change it to?
something different. I'll go last.
Oh no, you're first, man. You're
I'm
the most
first?
outgoing.
All
You're the
right.
most outgoing.
My first, the word that first came into my head, and I'm gonna, because I really love definitions of words. Like when you really get into the definition of a word, because we use them out of context so much, and then kind of words get misused
Dude,
over
you gotta
the years.
you gotta watch The Professor and the
I do.
Madman. It's
I
so
do.
good. It's awesome.
I first went with fortitude because I was
Ooh,
like,
yes, I love that word.
I'm like, okay, fortitude. Fort is fucking cool. Tough, fortitude, mental fortitude.
You ain't got the testicular fortitude, son.
Is that what your coach said to you?
You ain't got the testicular fortitude. Get out there and do the right thing, boy.
He would tell you your testicles weren't fortitude enough.
Weren't fortitude enough.
Weren't fortitude.
Sometimes he'd say intestinal, but he really meant business when he said testicular.
But if you look up if you look up the definition of fortitude, it says courage in pain or adversity. I don't want to constantly be in pain or adversity. So then I looked up a synonym, which is resilience. And that resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties or toughness. The ability of a substance or object to spring back into shape.
Being a big league closer.
Elasticity. Resilience is my fucking jam, bud. When people
And it's
can
a
be
great
resilient,
word for 2021. If 2020 is in fact what everybody say it was,
sure.
then
It-
2021
totally. I
is
didn't
the
even
year
think of
of
that.
resilience.
It is the year. Maybe 2020 was the real year of the end was bringing you to resilience. You're like, this ain't fucking getting to me, bud.
I like
I'm going to
that.
do everything I can. And I really love a story. I love the human existence of the trials and the tribulations. I've talked about family members I had before who have never wanted for anything ever in their life. And the psychosis that they're going through as adults is horrible. It's like they don't know what it is to want or hurt or need or anything. Big events were never big events for them because they never wanted they didn't, everything was given to them without this hard work, determination. When you put yourself in a place of hard work, determination, and trying to do things that haven't been done before, you're going to need resiliency. You're going to need to be
100%.
resilient. Resilience is the thing I want to bring to my close personal tribe. I want people to be able to see resilience in me and in other people and say, oh, fuck. Old Steve-O's being resilient about this stuff. Shit keeps happening to him, and he just keeps making it happen out of the shit that's happening to him. So the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties and toughness. I loved one hockey player a while ago. I'm sure he was quoting it from someone, but he goes, the first person through the wall is always a little bloody. The tough guys don't, tough situations go away. Tough guys don't. And he's dropping these little dimes like this, and I'm like, this fucking Canadian bastard just like, tough times go away, tough guys don't, bud. You gonna be tough? You gonna be resilient? You gonna do this? Is this what you want? Or are you gonna fucking quit, cry, go in your hole?
You're boning me up when you talk like that, bud.
So that is my word for 2021, boning you up. I mean, resiliency.
Resilience is a great word.
Steve, can you just repeat that? I'm writing this all down on papyrus script scroll.
Resiliency. RESIL.
Hold on, I gotta redip my feather.
You're going too fast, man.
I got a quill here.
I'm writing this. That was a good sermon. I'm writing it down on papyrus. I'm gonna bury it in a cave in Utah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
We should
Or, I mean,
do
you
that.
could
We should
record
do that
it.
anyway. People can put freaking monoliths down. Certainly, we can bury ancient scrolls.
Yeah, we can bury ancient scrolls.
We can do anything we want.
You guys should put that image up on the screen there. I think that kind of sums up 2020.
You should look.
It's on the screen.
It's on the screen.
Oh, is it on there? All right.
It's been on there for a while. Jennifer Aniston had a hard go, bud.
I'd still do her.
I'll bet Iggy is a monster in bed.
Look at this cheek. Oh,
Quick aside.
forgot.
Who was your favorite of the ladies on Friends?
Oh, I mean, I'm a Jennifer
It's
Aniston guy.
It's generational.
But
It's
if I'm looking
generational.
back, it's Phoebe
It
because
was
she
Phoebe's
goes.
when I was a kid. It's Phoebe's when I was a kid. But I thought that Monica was the best looking of the bunch.
Rachel is
Rachel
the most
bored me.
beautiful creation on earth.
Rachel's character bored me.
She's gorgeous.
She was gorgeous.
You're stupid.
Her character bored me.
She still looks good, even in that picture.
She looks great in the picture. We love her.
Rachel bored 14-year-old Craig.
Yeah, she's fine.
With her pert nipples.
She's fine.
and-
But Phoebe was way more. I was way more.
She was wearing
blonde.
overalls.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, but she was resilient.
She was resilient.
I guess.
Dude, she was a musician. She was just into
Shitty.
all the weird stuff. She was. She spoke my kind of.
Yeah,
language.
I didn't get it. You probably loved Jenna Elfman from
Dharma and Greg.
Dharma and Greg. You're probably a big Dharma guy.
You know, I just couldn't get into ABC sitcoms. I am a big Dharma guy. That's the
couldn't get
greatest
into ABC
insult.
sitcoms.
That's the greatest insult anybody. You big Dharma guy, bud.
You're probably a Greg.
You believe in the eternal and inherent nature of reality?
It's the worst thing ever because Greg's like, I don't want to have.
Do you believe in
tantric
cosmic
sex.
law?
Tantric sex. And
You stupid 14-year-old kid. What do you know about, cosmic law underlying right behavior and social order?
Everything.
Everything. All right, Greg, you're up next. We'll go to our big boy last.
Oh, hey, Steve. Before Craig
Nope.
goes.
Craig, you're up.
Before I go, what?
I think fortitude's a great word. Actually, one of my mentors, he uses that word. I mean, thinking of it like making like a fortress out of yourself,
Yes.
which that just comes from like daily practice. But I think it's an awesome word. But resiliency is too. And you guys know that Rising Appalachia song, Resilient?
Oh, man, it's my wife's jam. Yeah, it's a great tune. I am resilient.
You mean Missy Bliss Kohler?
That's the one.
Yep. We're Facebook friends, her and I.
Cool.
You friending up all of our wives,
Yeah,
dog?
what's the deal? What's the deal there,
You friending up our wives?
What's the deal there,
You fucking-
Mountain Man? Hey, let me show you these canyons. You should see the sunset. We're going to go chase the sunset through the canyon. Your husband never did that for you? Okay.
They friended me.
We know, Makete.
He looks in Missy's eyes and he's like, "Oh, I know, I got it now."
Oh,
and she's like, "What?"
You're from the Pleiades star system? Oh.
No, you
I
don't
can
like this.
tell by your Facebook profile.
She goes, "What?" He kind of looks at her in the eyes and he's like, "Oh, that's right, okay," and kind of walks away from her. And she's like, "What is that?
What is it?"
And he goes, "Oh, you know what? I was just a few years ago. I like to chase sunsets, live in the wild, and just kind of experience and be. And I found this sunset that I had never seen before, and it was these different colors of all these crazy things that I had never." And there was this one deep color in the middle of it, a color I had never seen before. And I just saw it again. And it's the color of your eyes.
Are you
And then she
fucking,
goes-
did you just use the mystery method? Is Makete using the mystery
You know
method?
whose method that is? That's Sam motherfucking Malone.
Malone,
ladies and
buddy.
gentlemen.
Oh, that's so
Diane
good.
says, "There's no way you could ever get to me." And he tells her a story. He looks her in the eyes and he's cleaning out dishes.
Sam Malone is, yes.
And he
man.
plays it off so perfectly. He's like, "Oh, never mind." And she's like, What's the deal?" And then he goes into a story where he was like skiing and it was this shade of blue that came up over the mountains. And he had never seen it before until he finally saw it again. And she's looking at him like mouth agape. And he goes, "Oh, couldn't get you, could I?" And I'm like, Sam fucking Malone, dude.
I love
That's my dude.
I love that picked you up in the mic for a second.
That's
that was
my
awesome.
dude.
Kush Coach just said something. I just want to break away for 1 second. He said he had a crush on Daphne.
Daphne crush alert. Daphne crush alert.
I love Daphne so
I
much
know.
so. Were you watching the show yesterday morning, Kush Coach? Because I played an old video from Kansas City last year, and maybe we can ask Makete this too as we get to our favorite words. But we asked people who would they rather have take care of their home. Who's the better play here? Would it be Daphne, the nanny,
The nanny's
or Mr. Belvedere?
Oh God.
And Daphne's the clear-cut winner there.
Nope. The nanny. You want the
was
nanny in your
smoked,
house, bud.
I was all over. I kind of had a little weird thing for Roz, too. Roz seemed like she'd be a pretty good time.
Roz?
Yeah, the one that worked the board. Like, we can never find anybody to do
Roz?
here. Yeah.
Ross from Friends?
No, well, him
from
too.
Frasier?
Yeah, Roz from Frasier.
Damn right, bud.
Yeah, she was sultry.
Her and
She was a
Niles
vixen.
had a little no, Niles and Daphne.
No,
had
Niles
a-
is always up Daphne's skirt.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Did you guys have anything for Elaine?
He was
Yeah,
just
for
talking
sure.
about her
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you? I never did.
Me neither, dude.
I couldn't. I don't know.
She's
Not
fine.
on Seinfeld.
I mean,
But
hilarious.
but as she's gotten older, like on Veep or whatever,
Yeah.
like I think she's also fucking loaded.
Okay, settle down.
She's an oil heiress.
Is she?
Yeah.
Really?
She wore like a.
Okay, Craig's up.
Okay.
Craig's up. Don't maneuver the show like you are.
No, I
in
like it.
control of
I like
this
it.
thing right now. Okay, guy.
I'm jockeying it, buddy.
All right, Craig's turn.
Steve and I were talking about, just kind of leading into 2021, having our own little private conversation, and how we hope things do open up a little bit more this year. Because the weirdest thing for us, and we still had some little events and things like that, but the weird thing for us was like not being able to do what we do, which is get our group of friends together, and also questioning where we're going with everything around here, making it all make sense. And the word that came to mind when you said it was unabashedly. I am going to live this year, create content unabashedly. I'm going to gather with people I love without any embarrassment or feeling ashamed or
No embarrassment, disconcerted, or shame.
Correct. Yeah. I want to act in a way that I don't carry shame, because shame is just a collar, right?
How are
Shame-
you ever going to come?
Oh, well, that's fair. That's how I think I do it. In public, I live unabashedly so that I can wear that greasy shame collar that I wear at night.
Greasy shame. That's a band name.
Greasy shame collar? Dude,
Yes.
we specialize
Collar
in
and the dad bath.
Dad bath.
That's not.
Come to the fucking. We got a nice lineup tonight at fucking the Copacabana with Dad Bath.
So I really appreciate etymology, and I think we should look it up for resilience
Edamame.
too. Edamame too. I like edamame. So I wanted to check out what the etymology behind unabashed was. And English speakers have been using it to describe feelings of embarrassment since the 14th century. But they have only used unabashed, brazenly or otherwise, since the late 1500s. Both words can be traced back to the Anglo-French word "aber," meaning to astonish. I want to live in a way where I'm not ashamed of my actions. I want to live happily, and I want more people to do that. I want more people to do what makes them feel good without fear of judgment, because we talk about one of the favorite things we have with our events, and I think Miss and I were talking about this too, is like when somebody comes to like their first Hoosier event and they're kind of a church mouse in the beginning and they're kind of, barely introducing themselves. By the end of the night, they got their shirt off singing karaoke, like spinning it above. That is my shit, to watch like this person, crawl out of this shell. It's awesome. And so I hope that in 2020, and especially like with political discourse and with everything we're going on with pandemics and everything, there's like this whole new kind of shame game that's going on. And I think that it's really kind of distracting people from living their best case reality, being worried about what other people are fucking thinking of
Kill
them,
that
or how
fire,
they're
dude.
going to get canceled. I feel like people aren't getting an opportunity to be as genuine as the world deserves. You know what I mean? So unabashedly is my word.
And that feels uncomfortable.
Yeah.
To get that way.
Sure.
And that's why
it's freedom.
I want to raise the I think we're already doing that. I would like to put some intention to that, because you're right. That is my jam, to see someone who's like,
I'm kind of anxious at events, and I'm kind of not feeling good. And people either walk them through it, or they go, "Man, you're fucking here. You're loved.
Yep.
Fucking,
you were loved.
Let's go.
Yep.
Let's go. There ain't nothing else to worry about. The only thing you're worrying about is up in there
In
because
between
everyone
those
here
two
loves
ears.
you."
That's right. Exactly right.
Yeah, and when you guys set that example, and we used to do that on stage. We tell people to come up and dance and be like, "Don't worry, you can't be weirder than us."
That's the deal. That's the deal.
That's where I'm trying to live. Do you ever wonder though if your weirdness, like, because at a party, it's kind of dancing around, and I had this thought, like, am I encouraging more people to dance with my dancing, or am I actually
100%.
encouraging them not to? Because
Well,
they're like,
it's
I ain't gonna be that guy.
It's equal parts a show and equal parts. Oh, that looks a lot of fun.
That's where I want.
If you look like you're having the most fun, people are like, I'm gonna get in on that.
I think they're actually that's actually a valid point. I think there's a fine line. If someone is a little bit shy and you're so over the top, it can actually be kind of intimidating.
Sure. I wonder that.
A place where you got to be relatable and like know where that balance point is to invoke that. It's invoking expression, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unabashed expression.
Absolutely.
And, this is like a deep topic, actually. I mean, we could talk about this for days.
Oh, yeah. And when you come from a place of love, too, I think people have an innate ability to pick up on that and say, oh, this person's not trying to, like, show me up or show off. They are having a good time and are accepting if I want to join into it and actually encouraging. I'm encouraging people to come have some fun with me.
No doubt.
Oh, yeah. Totally. Yeah, well, I don't know what it is. I guess it's a societal thing is that we're so shut down actually as Westerners in some ways. I mean, we're also loud Americans. That's no doubt about that.
Sure.
Something else in like, I guess it's like the fitting into this false idea of a norm.
I think emotions have been kind of portrayed as weak in American society. Like, throughout the years, it was like, dude, fucking guys don't cry. Like, I remember being a youth and being like, what don't fucking cry? Figure it out. Now, if a song hits me right on the way to, like, I listened to Desperado on the way to work, like, months ago, and I was like, man, it's fucking Desperado's getting me this morning? What the hell? And I lean into that shit. I want to feel. I just watched Warrior.
That's a gift. That's a gift. Like, when you get, like, one of those inexplicable weeping, like it just catches you. I've had the weirdest movie moments catch me like that, where I'm like, oh, and a lot of that. I mean, that's truly healing work. And like once you learn how to like cry in a cathartic way, it's as good of a release as anything.
You guys know, Kurt Vonnegut said, "Laughing and crying are what humans do, and they don't know what else to do."
Yep.
You know what else Kurt Vonnegut said?
A lot of great things.
He did.
Yeah, he did say a few
He
things.
said a lot of great stuff. And one thing Kurt Vonnegut said was, I don't know what it is about Hoosiers, but wherever you go, there's always a Hoosier doing something very important there.
That's a for real.
That's
thing.
100%. That's 100% a real quote.
He's in Indiana.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and which is actually the root of Hoosier, right?
Yes, indeed. I actually I caught a temporary ban because I was explaining to somebody using, why Hoosier means what it means in St. Louis. Matter of fact, I think that person's listening now. What's up, Will O'Donnell? He was on a little live.
It's Indianans?
Yeah, it all had to do with like there was a labor strike, and a bunch of people from Indiana came in and scabbed a bunch of labor, and so it became like this derogatory term, for these basically low earners, people that were willing to do a lot of work for less. But anyway, we took the word back because we're proud South City Hoosiers. But explaining that to somebody on Facebook as they were asking why, caught me a ban for hate speech. So
really,
because I typed out WT. So you don't want to, you don't ever want to say a color of trash. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, what? I was like, I'm just trying to explain what it, because he goes,
get rid of history.
That what it means? I'm like, yeah, whatever. Anyway,
get rid of history.
I digress. Kurt Vonnegut was a Hoosier.
I feel like we could this unabashed thing. I feel like there's more. We got a little time, right? There's more to say about that.
As much time as you want, bud.
Yeah, we make the rules around here.
I mean, I don't want to move on just yet because I just feel like there's something here. And when you said that, Craig, I was like, damn, that is like, first of all, that's just a lot of syllables. I didn't even know you were capable of that.
No one ever thought he'd be capable of much.
Of much.
He amazes everyone every day. His resiliency through the roof.
He told me he's a syllable guy. And I was like, what did we say? I don't know.
Syllable.
I did. I said I'm going to look that up.
It was a bit of a soliloquy, wasn't it? It was an invigorating soliloquy.
Always is.
Always is.
I don't know. Maybe there's not more to say, but
no, there is, bud.
You know what it is? I have a very recent revelation, and this is one thing, and it's a very simple mantra, which is nothing to hide. And I think it actually ties in with what you're saying, Craig. With this, I think all of us, even if we seem very outgoing, like everyone's hiding something.
Totally.
In themselves, and it can be anything. And what I realized is, like, I'm just speaking personally, is like, and maybe it's true for other people, is like the very thing that you're hiding might be your most precious gift to the world.
Word up.
And that can be on both ends of the spectrum. Like, that might be, sometimes we hide like our traumas and our wounds, and I don't mean you got to go out and flaunt that. But by sharing that, you're probably going to be offering some kind of healing, obviously to yourself by giving it a place to move and giving voice to it. But you probably, if you share that in a group or one-on-one with someone, the other person will probably have something that will be very healing for them to hear that and witness that and be able to relate, So that thing that you're holding, finding a safe place to release it, especially if it's something traumatic or really sensitive. And then the other thing that we hide, and there's that classic quote from Marianne Williamson, which is something about, we're not afraid of being too small. We're afraid of our greatness.
Yep.
Something, I'd paraphrase that. But that's the same thing too. And I found I was doing that even with one of the things I love the most, which is music. It's like hiding behind ideas of perfectionism, which is ultimately an illusion, right? Because it's always perfectly imperfect, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, what are we got the tight grasp of perfectionism or fear around, when ultimately it's like, just show who you are in this very moment, and not being lost in comparison, because you get comparing yourself to other people, you'll just completely shut you down. So it's like, it's an expression of who you are in this very moment, and that's the most beautiful thing.
Oh, for sure. And there's a balance in there too, because like comparing yourself to someone isn't good in the way that you will say, well, I'm going to turn this into a negative thing. I don't have what they have. I'm not as good as them. Fucking shut it down. But you can also compare yourself and use it in the other balance, the sway in the other direction, where you say, oh, I'm not as good as that person yet. I'm going to use them and help them with their skills, because if we are truly the universe learning about itself and we are all connected, then there is no... does the red blood cell go to the skin cell and say, oh man, I'm fucking not a part of this whole thing. You're more important to me. No, they all know their role. They're just working together, making shit happen. So if we can kind of take the macro and the micro effect of, like even the planets and the solar systems all working together, you think they're comparing to each other? You think the trees are going to each other and saying, oh, my roots aren't this deep, my shit?
I bet they are. I bet they're fucking petty, like talking with their roots, and like oak. Through a mycelial network, they're like, your limbs are so crooked.
The brightest gold is hiding in the darkest shadow.
Yeah,
love that.
I definitely apply that. We're not going to divert into medicine talk again, but I apply that to that space for sure. The days where I wake up from a challenging journey are the most beautiful days I've spent on Earth. The ones that were the days after where I just I had a good time. It's fine. It's just another day. Just another day.
Exactly.
And you are the placebo, so lean into it. Lean into that shit if you want to. Like, that's the life you want to live, bud?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's
rock
fucking
go.
go.
Shooter.
I like that. You are the placebo. That's good.
Craig said it earlier.
That's Dr. Joe Dispenza. You should check that out. I think you would really dig it.
Yeah, I love that. That's just sort of like fake it till you make it kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he gives pretty convincing anecdote and science also as to how effective placebos are and why it is so. And when people have actually truly believed that they were getting a medicine that was healing them, they were more likely to heal. You know, if they actually believed that they had a chance with the medicine they were taking, and a lot of times that medicine wasn't medicine, but it was just a little sugar pill. So the idea, the first step of healing is believing that you can heal and that your body is capable of it. I would say
starts with the belief. It starts in the etheric, and then it manifests in the body. Just like any disease, like it's gonna eventually, if you believe something long enough, or you have a strong enough root in that belief, it's gonna manifest physically, and then you have to deal with the physical part of it too. But it does, and everything starts in the spirit, right?
It's a struggle too sometimes. I think about with, the force. Like, did you guys ever try to sit there and kind of manipulate something with your mind, like try to get something to move off of a table or something? Just kind of sitting there. You're doing it right now?
To you, yeah.
Because my pee-pee just moved.
Yeah, that's what I was focused on.
Good job, dude. You did it. That's not a bad bit. Like, getting it to rise up, and you give yourself a boner, and I'm giving it like the.
I think I've seen that in like some Star Wars spoof porn.
So the deal is, how close am I to making it happen, and where is the barrier of belief? Where is my belief? Because there are different barriers of belief. Sometimes you can go way off the deep end, and your belief in something terrorizes your life because you're like, I gotta fucking catch Bigfoot. I'm gonna leave my family, and I believe in this, and I'm gonna do it. It's like there's a line there where your belief can turn you into a madman or a monk. It's like, whoa, which one, and who's to say what is what anyway?
Right.
So these different layers of belief that you can achieve, that where is that line? And this is just there. I don't know if the question has an answer, but it's like there's a line that, healing myself. When you have a disease or sickness, you go, I can get better. When do you not need that sugar pill trick that you can just activate that level? And I think those guys like Dispenza and even Greer was talking about it on this last one, that deep
he's incredible. Like my wife's been on that forever and tried to get, and like I have a really hard time with like guided meditations or anything like that. I really do. But there's certainly a ton of value there, but like, he's got some some people tell some really compelling healing stories doing work with him. He healed himself. He healed himself with his mind. He had like a major back injury that kept him almost crippled, I believe. I don't want to speak too far off of this, but it all started with his mind. Like,
if you learn the Dispenza's work, you don't need to fool yourself anymore. So like, where is the faith proof barrier? You know what I mean? Like the belief proof barrier. Like, where does belief need to be proof to really be belief? Or do you need belief to actually see the proof?
Yeah.
Yeah, and realize that the belief goes both ways, and you just touched on that. There's limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's like, that's probably, I think it's equally as important to recognize, because yes, you can believe positive. Yeah, I want to do this, but really good to examine. And this is the same as like nothing to hide. What are my limiting beliefs? What's that little voice telling me, actually, no, I want to do this, I really do, but it's kind of too good to be true.
Yeah, you can't do that. You don't deserve that.
Yeah, I'm not worthy, and could it really be that good? And then like you'll keep yourself stuck there. You'll keep yourself in the same spot as long as you want.
Your belief needs to be in your own power. You have to prove it to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So then I think that comes back to like even ceremony and tradition and ritual, which we've kind of lost a little bit, that if there was a ritual, and even I guess you can make rituals for yourself. Like
goals maybe, but like a ritual that you say, I need to be able to prove to myself. Like, I'm sure you felt it with the guitar before, where you see someone pick up a guitar for the first time and you're like, fuck, I remember that.
Yeah.
And you go, fuck, look how far I've come in all this time. And I'm sure you look at other really great guitarists and go, oh, I ain't there yet. Maybe one day. But also there's in the balance of everything. So when you prove it to yourself, you have to believe it.
Yeah.
You have to believe it wasn't like a fluke or something, you know? You have to fucking...
Yep. One of my phrases is you got to believe it to see it.
No doubt.
As opposed to the other way around.
Yes, I'm familiar with the see it to believe it one. Thank you.
Clear, Steve. It's, you know.
Well, I mean, it works both ways, right?
It does work both ways.
It's the balance, baby.
I love it.
It's the yoit and yang.
That should be. I think that's one of those words that's hitting home today. The balance. Right?
Oh yeah. Seek balance and communication. If I could like a lot of my problems that I source back to the beginning. A lot of them, I feel like the source of the problem was either poor communication or shit got way out of whack balance. Like, there's only a few things that can get way out of whack balance. And I'm not even sure if there are, because I used to think about my kids like, no, you love them with everything you have. It doesn't matter. But it's like some people's love takes the form of doing everything for someone, providing everything, and it ruins their fucking life.
That's true.
So love can ruin a life if in different ways.
Well, I mean, not exercising healthy relationships, maybe in the name of love, certainly. Yeah.
Yes.
It certainly has
in the name of love.
Its challenges.
In the name of love. That brings me to my word for 2021, which is Bono.
Yes!
Yeah, about time, the year of Bono.
Oh, I'm going to change mine to Catorce. I am offended by the open of that song. Like, who else can get away with saying 1, 2, 3, 14? Who else can get away?
1, 2, 3, Catorce. Is that?
Yeah. Who gets away with that?
What song is that? Is that song?
No, different song.
Craig's
I'm just on one. I'm just fucking. I'm a little
it.
insulted by Bono. That's all. Like, I just feel like nobody else gets away with saying 1, 2, 3, 14. Beautiful day, I think maybe. Anyway.
What is Catorce? What does that mean?
What? Catorce?
Yeah, Catorce.
I don't know. I speak the Kings. I'm going off what Craig's saying. He says
Catorce
14.
meaning.
I'm just copying whatever Craig says.
Yeah. Catorce? That's not it.
14, yeah.
Oh, Catorce.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, but that's how the song starts. Uno, dos, tres, Catorce, and I'm like,
oh, it does.
I was like, why
right.
did he not know it was Quattro? Is this supposed to be funny? Like, I don't get it. All right. Anyway,
it's a new word made up by Bono. It's actually in the dictionary now, and it means 4 or whatever fucking number he wants to mean.
Yeah, I looked that up too.
Yeah, you saw that. You saw that too.
Vertigo is the name of that song. It was the one for the first iPod commercial. What's your word?
My
Makete?
word. My word is birth.
Birth?
Birth. Yeah.
Birth.
And I'm on etymology online.
Hey, real quick, is it birth with an I or birth with an E? Like a wide berth, or are you being birthed into existence?
Birth as in like to be born.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. Well, and then on here it says the suffix th is for process or process, as in bath and death.
Dad bath.
Yeah, dad bath and death.
It comes back around again. We're all gonna take a bath someday.
Yep, the big bath in the sky.
The big bath in
the big dad bath in the sky. I can't wait.
When it turns out like fucking Jupiter's just like a little rubber ducky, like you just like squeak all the little planets like.
The big dad bath in the sky.
The big dad bath in the sky. Just some dudes hanging out in the bath. Dads and dudes in the bath, just hanging.
That is so ridiculous.
We try to make it weird. Tell me why you chose birth.
You don't even have to try. Oh. I don't know, man. It all ties in for me. The birth thing and the unabashed thing and the fortifying and the resilience. It's all part of, I think a lot of people probably experience it. I mean, 2020 was a bath for some people and it was a death for some people. You know?
Yeah.
For me, it was a bath and a death. And,
Yeah.
but yeah, I personally am going through what feels like a bit of another rebirth, and there's no end point. Like, I had a very profound, sort of next level of awakening happen within the last couple of weeks. But there's still, when that happens, and we always do. We're always like breaking through, right? We're breaking open, we're breaking through, and then we falter, and then we break through again. But even when you have those like grand moments, you're like, wow, I'm like really feeling a lot better in myself. It's not an end point, like
nope.
The birthing continues, and there's the refinement, the daily refinement, and like the polishing of that gem. And what were you saying? You were talking about ritual, and I actually wanted to make that. I was thinking that would be a good thing to talk about for a whole show. It's like, what's the daily ritual that facilitates the new becoming?
Yeah. No doubt. Because that's habits. I read this book about atomic habits and about how you are your habits. Like,
yes.
You eventually become your habits. You eventually become your rituals. Your persona and psyche and consciousness starts to take on all of this 90+% of information that you're just receiving without even knowing it. So if you can set yourself up in a ritual to be fucking born again every day in some sort of new way, whether that be learning something, whether that be going through pain, whether that birth can come from anywhere, especially if you start putting intention and looking for it. It's like when there's an actual name for it when like you see someone play a fiddle and then you're like, oh shit, I'm seeing more fiddles. Like I'm noticing more, or someone gets a yellow bug. Whoa, that was Jesus. Is that Schadenfreude?
No. It's a something effect.
Yeah. It's some effect where like once you start seeing something.
Oh, it's the dad bath effect.
The dad bath effect. Because once you start saying dad bath, you're just gonna see a bunch of dads in baths.
The Bader-Meinhof phenomenon where something you recently learned suddenly appears everywhere, also called frequency bias.
Bias.
See, yeah. Spirit's always talking to us, and our own soul is always speaking to us, which is a funny thing to say because there is a different thing between like there often is a different thing between the persona or the personality and the soul, but I'm going on tangent and saying that like part of the birth and the birthing process of being human for me feels like the embodiment of the soul. Each day I want to be more my soul. Does that make any sense? Like, yeah. I feel like I didn't realize that for most of my life. Like I was just me and I was building this ego, and the ego's fine. You can't, there's no reason to kill the ego. People have been trying to kill the ego. It's like, yeah, if you kill the ego, you'd just be shitting your pants and lying on the floor in a heaping mess because you need something to function in the world, right? But it's like establishing a healthy relationship with it and befriending it. But yeah, birth for me is like the deeper embodiment of the soul so that like you're just more you. You're the true you, the real you.
I love that.
And the most you can be is a part of everything.
Yeah, which is weird. Which is weird, right? Because in an egocentric model, like, like you would think that you being as unique and different as possible is the most. But in order, we talk about this all the time. In order for that gelatinous goo, that fucking cosmic net to like all of those knots, like it's almost like I'm gonna relate it to like Indra's net. Okay, so like Indra's net is like it's a net that covers the expanse of the galaxy, and where all of these knots come together are these different glimpses into different
consciousness. It's different dimensions, basically, right?
Right.
The same idea with this is like, I feel like we talked about it earlier in the show. If we are the universe learning about itself, then the more information we can give it, the more solid it becomes. The more solid state that intelligence becomes, right? So it takes all of us to live as unique an experience as possible in order to actually give the hologram shape.
We're built like that already.
Right.
Our DNA code has a different little code in everything that's receiving and picking up information all the time. So to be the most you, and if you are a part of everything, is to really allow yourself to be that soul that is connected to all things.
Yeah. Well, and I like what both of you are saying too, is like, you know, a lot of people ask like, well, what is it? What is my identity? Is it the sum of the things that I do or create? Well, partially, but also it's the way that I do it. So you were talking about if we are our habits, atomic habits, like they're also what makes us is our own personal style, the way that we do things. When I think about, I have a great idea of who Dan Hendrickson is as a person because of the craftsmanship that he put into this thing. You know what I mean? That's a guy that takes his time and executes a plan.
I know that by his lovemaking as well.
Well, that too. Yeah, he's a gentle lover.
But
the idea is, it's not necessarily what you do, but it's also how you do it. But it is also what you do. And it's how you co-create.
The intention and the soul that you put into your work is reflected in the art, and that's the old art and the artist thing. It's like, you know, if we want to talk, you want to use the word God, and that can be lowercase g. Is there a difference between the creator and the creation?
Yeah.
I think in a lot of religion, there's a difference.
Yeah.
God is a separate entity that created things, and God lives somewhere unattainable, right?
Mm-hmm.
But very much in the point of there is no separation between the creator and the creation, and that's how I feel about a good song or a good work of art. It's like, that's the person's soul right there in tangible form, on a piece of art. It's like, wow, I can see this thing. I can experience that with my human senses. With a song, you know, those songs that hit, there's soul in that. Someone's exposing their soul. And that's once again coming back to the nothing to hide, the unabashed thing, right?
Yeah.
It's all tying in. It's be that expression, be the fullest expression of who you are. And when Steve's talking about, and both of you guys are talking about trying to invoke that expression out of people, you're not saying, hey, look at me, come act the exact same way I am. Just like any great teacher is not saying, hey, I want you to be like me. The great teacher is saying, I want you to be you.
Mm-hmm.
I have found who I am. I know who I am. Now, use me as the example. The finger pointing at the moon is not the moon. That's a Bruce Lee quote. You know, it's the indicator. So when you see that, you see someone else expressing their soul, it's like, that's not necessarily the answer, but that's the indicator for you to find out who your unabashed, fortified, resilient, birthing self is.
Fuck yeah, buddy. I love our Wednesday conversations. This is becoming one of my favorite parts of the week. Dude, I'm trying to look you up on Spotify right now.
I'm on there. Finally got 2 songs in there.
Okay, I'm going to put the link in our things, because when you were talking about that moment of soul, I could feel that moment of soul in art. I could feel that when that chorus and that crescendo comes on, what's the name of the song?
Weathered Joy.
Weathered Joy. God dang. I mean, that for me, it's like, okay, this fucker's on to something here. This is good. And then when it brings out an emotion like me, you grab that from nothing, put it into the world, and now I'm getting a sense of playing it as loud as I can in this store, and a wave of calm breeze just coming over me. And you facilitated that, and you created that without knowing that it was going to have a direct result. And that is the art that people are so passionate about. When you see some people be like, yeah, I ain't fucking Britney Spears. She shakes her ass and fucking, and it's like, yeah, that's fine. But if we're going to talk art, let's talk, Nora Jones, or, like, let's get deeper. So then we can kind of see that as it goes back to our culture too in America, where we're afraid of kind of the emotions and going through all that. A lot of our pop culture has turned into this, oh, don't judge me, and I gotta look perfect and be perfect. That way everyone will love me. So it's kind of it is what you make it. You already summed it up perfectly. We had fortitude, birth, and Craig's word was dad bath.
My word was dad bath.
And so everybody listening to the show, check out Makete on Spotify.
Yeah, Weather Joy, it's a jam.
Buddy, we love you. Thank you so much for joining us every Wednesday, and we'll talk before then. All right, Bree?
Yeah, so good.
Bree.
Thanks, guys. That was amazing.
Wicked time, Bree.
It's always fun.
That was compassionate.
Compassionate.
Wicked.
I threw I'm sure you've probably read it. You're a traveled man, but in our little group message, Makete, I also posted it in the chat feed here. There is a book that was written by, of all people, Scott Adams, the guy that made the Dilbert comics. But he wrote a book called God's Debris: A Thought Experiment, and it's not really fiction, and it's not really nonfiction, and it's about 144 quick pages. But I think everybody would really dig it, especially talking about kind of is God the creator or the creation?
Yeah, cool. I'll check that out.
Check it out, bro.
I see the link here. I see it in your message. Steve just sent a link for dadbath.com.
Dude, what is dadbath.com? Hang on, what is it? Does it work? No, you got org. No, you tried them both. Is it net? Is it .net? It might be .net.
.gov. Not .gov.
Dude, I'm telling you this right now. If none of those are owned, we're about to make a fortune.
Oh, shoot.
We're
It
about to
can't be
make a
reached.
fortune.
It can't be reached.
None of those work?
Dadbath.com.
Oh, well,
does
guess what, bud? I guess who's the new proud owner of dadbath.com on GoDaddy?
We found the government secret.
Yeah.
They're like, no one will ever type in dad bath.
Yeah. Found the government secret dad baths.
It's like direct login into the CIA's mainframe.
Oh, shit. Oh, dadbath.gov. Oh, Makete, we love you, brother. Till next time.
All right, love you guys.
See you, buddy.
Brother. See you.
Cheers.
Did you say cheers?
Cheers.
I think it was jizz.
But that's hilarious. Jizz. That's a great little.
Real quiet.
Jizz.
Real quiet on the
Jizz.
way out.
Well, Steve, it's that time again, pal. I enjoy our little chitty chats. I want to fill in. We need to get some more people in here. We need to get some voices in here, because when it's just the two of us chitty chatting, bud, sometimes we forget how to get too deep, and sometimes we just get lost. And so it's nice to just have somebody throw us into it. Like when we get interviewed, that's when we're our best, pal.
I don't need anyone.
Steve's not going to use anyone. What you gonna play, bud?
Redemption song yesterday.
Oh, you're going to redeem yourself from yesterday?
Redemption.
Oh, you're actually going to play Redemption song. Okay.
Go ahead and tell them about our
All
guys.
right, I will. I don't mind if I do. If you go to nativehempextract.com right now and you enter the code HOSO at checkout, you're going to get a significant discount off of everything, including their new Delta 8 gummies. They're 25 milligrams a piece. They're absolutely freaking
Try them. You'll like them.
awesome. You will like them. They do. Oh, girl, I know I get plenty deep. I already know I get plenty deep. I already know I get plenty deep, girl. Will O'Donnell will come on. Will O'Donnell will come on here. He lives a long way away, but Will O'Donnell can come in here anytime he wants. There's always a face with your name on it, pal, that you can sit on. Always.
With your name
right on. I've tattooed Will O'Donnell on my forehead. That's why I'm wearing this right now, because it's healing.
Oh yeah, that was a bold choice, but I applaud you.
Yeah, well, I don't want anybody to fucking doubt my allegiance to one of St. Louis's finest comics.
You said that.
Will O'Donnell, get your butt in here whenever you want, pal. Mrs. Kohler, if you're nasty, you come in here. Don't have me tell people about Joe Dispenza.
Yeah,
Please don't have me do that. Please don't have me do that. I'm a knuckle-dragging idiot, clearly. Okay. All right. Now we're getting back to it, bud. Hey, Adam Bundren, he did well, but now he's in Bora Bora. He ran off with all of your money, guys. Sorry.
Sorry about you.
Just kidding. Call him in the middle of the night.
JK, middle of the night.
Middle of the night, give him a call. He's going to sell you a house. It's going to be your dream house. He's going to hang out. You guys will be next door neighbors, and you can watch them barbecue and nothing but an apron. It's awesome. It's awesome. He's like, hey, you want a pork steak? I'm like, I want you to put your pork steak away, bud. Okay?
That thing's going to get hot.
Being your neighbor's a little weird. Get that thing away from the flame.
You're
right
near
you're
bottom
freaking
base
me
of that
out.
thing.
You've singed off your nipple hair. And that's Adam Bundren. So just call him in the middle of the night. James Carlton, State Farm. He's a fucking gem. He's my favorite fucking dude going. 314-961-4800. He's the best State Farm insurance agent in the entire game. Anybody else that thinks they're a good insurance agent, do me a favor. Don't even tell them about James Carlton, because they're just going to quit their life when they see how much they suck compared to him.
If they don't quit his life, he'll quit it for them.
He will fucking quit him. He'll quit him in a minute. He'll slip their ass. Adam McChesney, he's so handsome that he can't help but succeed. That's the deal.
I know.
He's just his companies are blowing up. If you're not using him for your marketing for your company, you're dumb.
I go, dude, I'll teach you.
You're dumb in this town.
I'll teach you how to execute a perfect dick joke, and you teach me how to business.
You teach me how to business, pal, and I'll stop pooping in my pants.
I'm drowning.
Bono how to grow. Oh, he know how to grow. Bono how to grow.
Grow Active Solutions. They're down in Hartford and Grand, down in Tower Grove South, bud.
Yeah, DJ.
Shabba. Tower Grove South, pal. You go down there, you say,
Get at 'em.
Bo, trying to grow some stinky sweet chiba, bud. Can you help me? And Bo's going to say, the Hoosier send you? And you say, yeah.
One of our Hoosiers just went down there.
Our friend Chris.
I gotta check.
I actually don't know. I'll do a little check-in.
Check-in.
I think she was getting a whole little setup.
Because he might have kicked her in the face.
He might have said, you know what? Get out of here. The last time those guys were here, they pooped in they did an upper decker. They did an upper decker
And a lower
in the toilet.
decker.
And a
Which
lower
means you
decker.
take the toilet off.
Which when you go to flush
poop
one,
where
the other
wax
one comes
ring.
in. Come on.
You poop where the wax ring.
And put it back on there. Oh, man. That's just unkind. That's an unkind act. That's a lot of work. We love the Spanish Society and Brian Kessler and the Vibe Tribe and all of the good that he is doing in this world. And I hope that 2021 we can unabashedly raise $100,000 for people that need it, pal. I like to put crazy, audacious goals out there and see if we can't just do it. Because this family's doing something, pal. It is abundant with talent, including yourself, sir. And so why don't we just wrap this bad boy up with a little jam.
When you left this town with your windows down and you're feeling this inside, let the exits pass all the tar and black through the road and skyline. We're the strangers in this town, raise you up just to cut you down. Oh, Angela, it's a long time coming. And your Volvo lights lit up green and white with the city on the side. As you held your coat to some distant woe in the shadows of your mind. From the second time around, the only love I ever found. Oh, and Angela, a long time coming. Home and lay. Were you safe and warm with your coat of arms
with your fingers in a fist. Did you hear the notes, or those static codes in the radio abyss? Well, the strangers in this town raise you up just to cut you down. Oh, Angela, it's a long time coming. Oh, and Angela spent her whole life running away. Home and lay. Home and lay. Vacancy, hotel room, lost in me, lost in you, Angela, on my knees, I belong, I believe, home and lay, home and lay, home and lay.
We've ended every show. Every show. How many times have we said cowabunga?
I'll say it a million times before I die, pal.
Cowabunga, cowabunga, cowabunga.
Makete, makete, makete.